Pembroke.
What's good?
What up, going?
Get it.
It's game 5 of the NBA Finals tonight, and obviously the series is tied up 2-2. Now, essentially what that means, fellas, is it is a best of 3. The next team to win 2 games will win the 2025 NBA championship. And Penn came across a little number that you might appreciate today. The team that wins game 5 takes the series 74% of the time. So it's almost like this game is a do or die type of game.
Oh, basketball, man.
Oh, you don't see it that way?
No, I definitely see it that way.
Oh, basketball.
It's actually going down, Ron. It's actually going down because it was up to 80%. But as of recently, game 5 winners have won a lot more. And the loser of game 5 has won the series a lot more in recent years. In the past, it was up to like 83%. The game 5 winner won the series. So it's actually going down, but keep going.
Do y'all believe that? Like tonight, whoever wins tonight wins the series?
I do.
Indiana could win, and OKC could still win this series.
Jay, I'm having a difficult time, brother.
Yeah,
if Oklahoma City, if Indiana goes in there and wins tonight, I'm having a difficult time believing that Indiana is letting them out of Indiana for the NBA championship. By the way, we win tonight, we're the NBA champs. Mm-hmm. Letting them out of Indiana with a win. That's going back to Oklahoma City for game 7. I'm having a difficult time with that.
It takes 4 games to be a champion, right?
It does, 100%.
Right, whoever wins tonight is only going to win 3. So that means there's still a chance.
There still is. That's correct.
I've seen teams come back 3-2. Wasn't Denver up 3-2 versus OKC?
The Lakers went back to Los Angeles
in
2000.
It wasn't Denver? Okay.
The Lakers went back to Los Angeles down 3-2 in 2010 when they beat Boston. It was down 3-2 in that series. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fellas, before we get too deep into the NBA Finals, we've been talking about the Finals for the last 2 weeks, and it's been great. But we finally got some action outside of the NBA Finals basketball. There was a trade last night, or yesterday morning, and it kind of shocked me because, Chill, when was the last time that you've seen a trade during the NBA Finals?
I don't ever remember seeing a trade during the NBA.
A trade or just a big trade?
I don't remember seeing a trade during
the Nuggets made a trade in 23 finals for draft picks.
A trade that was reportable.
Well, they did. They made it going into game 3, I think. Or
who did y'all trade?
They traded JaMychal Green and draft rights for the 2023 first round, the one they got Julian Strawther and Pickett and Tyson and all.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, so you can make trades. So trades are available to be made officially, not just discussions. It's actually official in the books. Everything's done.
Yep.
Wow. I never knew that. I'm like, I've never heard it. I thought you had to wait till the season was over before you could do stuff like this.
Yeah, I wish they didn't do it because they just traded a pick to the, I think the 27 to the OKC Thunder, and now they have full access to that pick, and the Nuggets got Hunter Tyson and Jalen Pickett and some other people.
Yeah, it's fine, but we talking about a trade that.
Well, that's why I asked, like, if you're saying significant trade or just any trade. He said he remembered any trade. Yeah.
You swipe it like obviously you knew about that trade because you're a Denver Nuggets guy. I was focused on the finals. I wasn't even paying attention to that.
I mean, the series was over already, so I understand. It was,
okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, with that being said, I literally didn't know. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. I literally didn't know you could.
Me neither, Ron. Me neither.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that neither. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked it up a few weeks. I looked it up a few weeks ago when the Giannis stuff was going on and found out, yes, it is perfectly possible. Teams often put it off because the tax stuff kind of locks in around June 30th.
So you can wait until the next year, next tax. If you wait till it's a July 1st pin, and then it becomes a new year, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, so this trade counts as a trade that was done in this season, in this NBA year, not the next year. Wow. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, well, fellas, let's get into it. In case you missed it, the Orlando Magic have acquired Desmond Bane. And people are having mixed feelings about this, but this is what the trade was for. So the Grizzlies are trading Desmond Bane to the Orlando Magic for KFC, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 4 unprotected first-round draft picks, and 1 pick swap. Fellas, I need your thoughts. Mars, I would like to start with you.
Just beautiful.
I think it's a good trade. Orlando got better in a time where I think the East people feel it's wide open. I think it's logical to try and improve your team, especially knowing that Boston are compromised, let's say. And I'm not saying it's right to feel this way, but I think a lot of East teams are looking at themselves like, why can't we be the Pacers? Why can't we be a team that doesn't have the top 5 player in the NBA, but we have such a good unit that we can make a deep postseason run, we can make it to the finals. So for Orlando's point of view, I think we all said they need extra perimeter play and extra scoring and shooting, and that's what they got with Desmond Bane, who I think is really, really good at all of those things. And then they got off of KCP's contract, which wasn't looking the greatest based on how he performed last year. And then for Memphis, they got 4 picks, which is going to be nice, especially that Phoenix pick. And then they got the hope of a KCP revival, and Cole Anthony can be a basketball player. So I think it's a really good trade. I favor it for Orlando, but I think it's a fine trade, both ways.
And
when is the last time the Eastern Conference today? If you think about today, when's the last time a conference has been this wide open, where you're not sure who can win it? When was the last time that's happened?
Just this year with the West. Well, I guess not. OKC kind of.
2019 was pretty wide open.
That's true. Well,
but it's so wide open.
2019 was pretty wide open. You had Milwaukee, you had Philly, you had Toronto. I mean, any one of those teams,
sure. Yep.
any one of those teams could have come out.
Yeah, it would have to be a year either post LeBron or pre LeBron, in the East. Yeah.
But even still, when Toronto ended up getting Leonard, I mean, were they not the favorites though?
No.
Considering,
I think Milwaukee were the strong favories.
Yeah, they won.
I think Milwaukee was the favorites. Since KD left the Warriors, I think the West has been pretty wide open.
It was a little bit like the Indiana thing, because when they added Gasol, they became a really different team, and people weren't really factoring that in because Milwaukee won more games. But I think, there's some evidence to say Toronto should have been the favorite, but. Yeah, I mean, I hear it from the Orlando side. The reporting is a little bit weird to me, though, right? 4 unprotected picks is very disingenuous, and there is a pick swap in there as well, so it's really like 5. But it's the 16th overall pick this year, which, based on my draft analysis, should be a pretty damn good player. Yep. 16 is a really good place in this draft. You'll be able to get like a real contributor at that place that's better than Tristan da Silva last year.
With that being said, if we rewind the clock back to October of 24, I said this to Jay earlier today. If we rewind the clock back to October 24, what were we saying about Orlando? Because I had Orlando as the top 5 seed in the East.
I can make a case that if they're healthy with Joe and Suggs and they go up against Indiana, that's a coin toss series to me.
So
that's
okay,
without Desmond Bane.
That's where I was going, Penn.
Anybody that's a coin toss series.
That's what I was saying, Penn. So now I want to add take KCP out of that lineup and add Desmond Bane to that lineup.
KCP was horrible for them last year. Shot like 32% from 3, 34%, 34% from 3. Let this be a cautionary note to anyone trading for any player and putting them away from Jokic. There will be a drop off. Bruce Brown and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope are proof of that. The picks are relevant because you're trading away this year's 16th. You still got 25, which is good. You got next year, that Phoenix pick. We don't know what it's going to be. If they trade KD for a package of young players, they could be terrible next year. You could end up with like a top 5 pick next year. The reason that it's a little disingenuous to call it unprotected is because it's a swap. You get the least favorable of Phoenix or Washington. Both teams could be bad. But I don't know if Phoenix is going to be like bottom of the league bad with Devin Booker and Bradley Beal still there.
They shouldn't be.
So most likely that's the 10th overall pick. Then you got 2028 Orlando, 2029 swap, and then 2030 Orlando. The thing with Orlando is they're definitely banking on Paolo to be like a floor-raising franchise top 15 player for that duration. The question I have is, I don't know where I'm going to be in 2030. How does Orlando know where they're going to be in 2030?
That's why if you're the GM,
they don't need to worry about where they're going to be in 2030 right now.
Yeah,
because
but
because the East. I think sometimes, especially up here, we fall in love with let's sit back and build this let's build this team, let's build these pieces, let's do this. And mind you, that is the job of the GM to look into the future. I'm not saying don't think about the future. What I'm saying is championships now are more important than trying to win championships in 5-6 years. That's just my mind. That's my mindset. And me, as a matter of fact, Chill, we were just talking about it right before the trade happened. We were talking about it on Chill with Chill. I was saying I think, I spoke on Orlando. I said Orlando, San Antonio, Houston, Toronto, and Detroit. Those are the 5 teams that need to be looking to make a move. They don't need to be worrying about what to do in 6, 7, 8, 9 years. They need to be thinking about making the move now and winning something because it's wide open. It's not wide open in the East. It's wide open in the whole league. This is a win now league. So, hoarding draft picks is not where you should be if you're one of those 4 teams or one of the top teams. If you're one of these bottom level teams, then fine, build your franchise. But Orlando needs to be thinking about winning because they had a great team this year. If it wasn't, if we think about where they ended, then we won't see that. But Penn, you brought it up. I think we all remember how good Orlando was doing before Franz, Paolo, Mo, Jalen, all 4 very important players went out for significant time this year. Like that team, they come back healthy with Desmond Bane. They're not worried about those draft picks. They're a serious basketball team.
Are you worried about them getting really expensive?
That's going to happen anyway.
Yes, it costs. If you want to win, it costs on top. But on top of that, my thing is also, Penn, even if those draft picks turn out to be really good for Memphis, which they probably will, that's not Orlando's problem anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't look at that. You got to focus on what you're doing.
So I
see what you're saying, but from 28 to 2030, they have no wiggle room on a gap year. So who's
that Penn? Who you talking about?
Orlando has no wiggle room.
So I looked up the
they
numbers.
have to be good.
What's a gap year?
They are going to be good.
What
a year where they're not good.
Like what Boston's doing this year. I mean, we've already seen plenty.
Wiggle room for
They're not doing a gap year this year, by the way, anymore. But
Penn, wait a minute, Spike.
They're not doing a gap year right now.
You were making a point about the gap year.
So I went
like Boston has maneuverability. When you don't own your pick, you don't own flexibility. You not only have to think about this not just as the pick, but also future ability to navigate different circumstances. Like I don't think any one of us 2 months ago could have said, I don't think Boston's going to be a contender next year. But now Jason Tatum's injury throws a big monkey wrench into that. Maybe they're not going to be a contender next year. A lot of people are picking them out of it. So now Boston has a chance to come out and see what a Jaylen Brown offense looks like. And if they start out kind of soft, they could just pull the plug on the season and rest guys. If you don't own your pick, you don't have that optionality.
Well,
number one. Number two, if a Giannis trade comes up, right? Let's just say a Giannis trade comes up, and Giannis does demand out at the deadline. If you're Orlando, you don't have the pieces with all those draft picks.
This is also not true. So, Penn, this is why I said
okay.
To stop here. So I did the numbers on Locked On NBA yesterday. P5 Paolo has on the table this summer a 5-year, $247 deal that will be on the table that he'll be able to sign, even if he made an All-NBA. Yeah, that's the rookie max extension for Paolo. Okay. Franz already signed a 5-year, $224. Suggs already signed a 5-year, $150. And if you look at Desmond Bane's contract, I don't know if you've seen the numbers on
36,
on
42, 42.
So just to give people a framework, it's a 5-year, $197. He just made 37. He's making 40. 43 and 46, and the cap is going up significantly. So they will not only have adjustability in room, but some of this too. So when it gets to right now, the oldest player in the rotation is Desmond Bane at 26 years old. Paolo is 22. Franz is 23. Suggs is 23. So they're projecting development. And so also I asked somebody about this yesterday. So the first year of Paolo's extension, there'll be a heavy luxury team based on where the cap is projected to be. But after they're set in the second year of Paolo's deal, they'll have about $78 million to play with that they can move. And on top of that, Penn, if they decide to get off of Caleb Houston, Gary Harris, Mo Wagner, and one more player, they can open up for $24 million this summer. If they give the team,
hang on one second. I'm not questioning your numbers here, but 1 second. So Paolo, no, I am questioning your numbers. I don't even know why I'm even lying about that. There you
go, Pete.
Okay, so Paolo is extendable at, you said 247.
This summer.
I believe it's 5 years, 247 this summer.
Okay, yes. So one thing that will almost likely throw a little bit of a course correction on that is, what if he makes All NBA next year? If he makes All NBA, that deal gets bumped up to a supermax.
Well, I think he's eligible this summer though. Yeah, and it could bump up to a supermax.
But
he doesn't have to sign.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if Franz no, hang on, because Franz signed 224 last offseason. Scotty signed, Evan signed, Cade signed. They all signed 224, right? But if any one of them made All NBA, that can get bumped up to a supermax.
It's possible.
Wait, Pin, let me ask you, because when Chill said that, now I'm a little confused. So he can sign for that money right now, this offseason, or he can wait to see if he's
his
all
contract is not up at the end of the season.
It will boom. It will have an all NBA tax to pinpoint.
His contract is not up.
But wait. So this real quick. But he can sign the contract. Swiper just mentioned he can sign that this offseason.
Yes, but he will have the optionality.
Or he can do like normal, or he can do like players have done in the past and hold on and bet on himself to make All NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't make All NBA,
no. Okay, he will sign the contract to lock in that money. The 247 will be his no matter what he does. If he makes All NBA, that will probably get bumped up to 300 million.
So it's already in the contract. If he gets All NBA, it bumps the contract up.
Yep.
See, look, if I'm on the ship, no, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
You don't have an option.
No. You got to make a choice.
No. Hey, wait a minute. I don't think the bonus is $100 million for making the All NBA.
I mean, that's
I didn't say it was 100. 247 to 290 is not 100 million.
Because it's a percentage increase.
You said supermax, right? How much is the supermax?
No, but it's a rookie scale.
It's a rookie scale.
Like that's a different.
So when you're on your rookie deal, Jay, it's a difference between your rookie deal and a deal where you, like, for example, Shea. There's a reason why Shea is eligible for the money that because this is not his rookie deal. He already signed an extension when he got there. So this contract is coming up, and then now after this summer, he gets to with being the league MVP, and in addition to being an All-Pro, he now can make even more money because
it will go from 25% basically to 30%.
Yes,
is how it will go. So that depends.
The saving grace here is Jalen Suggs' contract descends. That is a very, very important thing. By the end of his contract, Jalen Suggs will be making $26 million in 2029. That, if he stays healthy, will be one of the most valuable contracts in the NBA.
The reason why we got to talk about the money,
12% of the cap.
The reason why we have to talk about the money, because we can't talk players unless we talk about the bread. The bread is very important. And to answer your question, Ox, because I think what you were asking was, is Paolo, does he have to sign his contract? Well, it's a team option. So they had a team option this year, and they got a team option next year. Now, I don't think Paolo is going to play under that contract that he's under right now, going into next year. He can sign the extension and get more money, or he can play under the current contract, like you said, and end up and like you said, it's a team option.
There's no.
They already exercised the second-year team option. That's not the way it works. So basically,
he has to sign something right now this offseason.
He doesn't have. I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. He doesn't have
to.
But Pinn's saying that it's not going to affect anything either way. If he makes All NBA, he gets the boost. If he doesn't make All NBA, it's 247 anyway. So, but again, so I guess, and then to finish out this little thing here, Pin, which why I think they have a little bit more flexibility. So basically, to re-summarize it, Ox. So the first year of Paolo's extension, there'll be heavy luxury tax team, but after they're set to have about 78 million before the extension actually kicks in. Now the issue is they have team options they can move, where they'll have 24 million they can break off the books this summer to give them flexibility. But also, Penn, I heard through the grapevine that one, Suggs is already on the table for adjustments if they want to make adjustments to the roster, but two, Franz Wagner would be on the table. So if it doesn't
on the table for what? Swipe adjustment.
So if they had the way the Magic went into this, they believe that they have four star level players so let's say one all-star, one all-star in their role, Jalen Suggs, and all-star in Bane, all-star in their role in Suggs, two potential all-NBA players. Because Ox point, remember when Paolo started the year off, Ox, a lot of us thought, damn, he might make all-NBA. And then when Paolo went down, when Franz went crazy, Ox, a lot of us said he might make All-NBA.
Sure.
And then Paolo came back from the injury, played great in the playoffs, outplayed Jason Tatum head-to-head. My bad, Joe. I didn't mean to say that. That slipped out. My fault. And then he went to the playoffs, played a really great series. And then from there, I think the way that Orlando looks at it, Penn, is they're saying that, you know what, we put the picks and stuff in, but this is the great part, Penn. They have 4 26 and under players that are all very, very good to all NBA caliber players. In their brain, what I'm kind of getting the hint of if it's not working by 27, 28 and the money gets tight pinned, they're going to be able to put Franz Wagner on the trading block. And you just imagine that if Mikal, OG, and Bane are getting those kind of that value in that haul, getting a 6'10.5", like elite athletically wing who has plus defensive chops, playmaking, rim pressure, ball handling, 3-point shooting, putting that player on the market, I think for them they're in a win-win.
Game better than France.
Well, by then they're estimating
40.
No.
There aren't 30.
Oh no, yeah, right. But then Penn, even let's say by the time he's 23 now, Penn, let's say by the time he's 25, 26, and there's not 15 or 18 players better than him.
So we might be looking at a top 20 player in the league.
So that's what they're guessing. They're guessing that's possible. Where they're
Swiper, I don't even want to look that far. I want to stick right now where we're at right now.
Right.
Well, if we staying right where we are, Ron, if we staying right where we are, this actually works for Memphis also, because one, they get Desmond Bane's money off their books. With them getting Desmond money off their books, now they open up more money to pay Triple J. With them opening up, Ron, they're not letting Triple J walk out the front door.
Okay,
they're
not doing that. But I'm not freeing up money to pay Triple J more money.
Yes, that's exactly what you're doing.
So get off
you can't give. You can't. Go ahead.
Get off the Desmond Bane.
It doesn't sound like they're rebuilding.
Supermax.
It sounds like they're rebuilding. It sounds like
if that's the case, sure, they need to come on. But if they're doing what Ron said that you said they're doing, if they got off of Desmond Bane to pay Triple J, this might be the worst move in
doesn't KCP
modern NBA history.
How much KCP making?
Okay, so KCP makes 21.6 million, and he has a player option in 26-27, which at his age he will pick that player option up. Cole Anthony is the opposite, whereas he makes 13.1 flat contract, but he has a team option, and I think they will not pick that up.
No, they're not.
And how much is Bane's contract for this year?
It was 197, 5 years.
For 4 more years.
So he'll make roughly $40 million a year for the next 3 years.
So not even.
They come back with like 10 mil. They come back with like.
He makes more than 40 million for the next 4 years.
He's making.
Wait a minute, Swiper. Am I losing my mind? No, he's talking about we moving off of Desmond Bane so we can open up some money. Last I checked, KCP isn't terrible, right?
Well, he had a really bad year.
Okay, he had a bad season in Orlando. Yeah. I am a starter on a championship team. I am that. That was just 2 years ago.
He's on the other side of the hill.
Number
31, chill.
Okay. Well, I don't know if he's on the other side of the hill. I think he's older than that too. I think
I'm still viable.
32.
Number 2. I got an all-pro caliber.
You 33. You can hoop still, Ron.
All-league defender on my crew. Are you telling me that me moving off of Desmond? So essentially, what you're telling me, Ox, is Desmond Bane is better than Triple J. That's what you're telling me.
That's not what that means. First of all, but hold on. Real quick, y'all.
Please straighten me out.
That's not what I said. But
here this guy goes.
But Desmond Bane is a very good basketball player, and I'm definitely.
Can you look up the extension for Triple J? I think it's like 4 years.
He made the All-NBA team, right?
Hold on, y'all.
Let me answer this question. He made the defensive question. He was all defensive.
But what I'm saying, Chill, I'm not saying that because I won't get off of you to pay him more doesn't mean that he's better. But I'm not trading Desmond Bane for KFC so I can pay Triple J more money. That's crazy. Before I do that, I'm trading Triple J before I do that.
It's not more money though, y'all.
No way. Well, either way, but I don't know. Swiper. I'm just answering Chill's question. Responding to what Chill was saying. There's no thought process in my mind. That's
Grizzly fans.
How do we get rid of Desmond Bane to pay him more?
I don't think that was the thought process, and we don't know where they're going. And two quick thoughts. One,
Triple J come in the set.
One, we don't know what Memphis is going to do with these picks. They could turn around and make a very, very competitive offer for Giannis or Devin Booker, someone that they deem to be an upgrade on Desmond Bane. Number one. Number two, Giannis potentially. Look, man, they have the assets to make a deal. Okay,
yeah,
they
could put JJJ, Jalen Wells, GG Jackson if they wanted to, and then all those five, those
Pippen
four, those picks.
And then what?
Their roster, first of all, like
over there doing what?
But don't the money got to match? You still got to send somebody with big money.
They're not a second.
Here's the thing. I mean, a team that trades a superstar typically wants to rebuild, which means they want picks. they may value those picks a lot more than they value Desmond Bane. So that's the important thing. The other thing that I think you got to factor in is Desmond Bane meant more to Orlando than pretty much any team in the league. They were the worst 3-point shooting team, arguably in history relative to the competition last year. They were horrible. They couldn't make a single shot. Desmond Bane fits into their timeline. The East is wide open. They capitalized on this Godfather offer. They could not turn it down. Desmond Bane, very good player. I was up here with you, Cho, arguing like how great he was, and you're like, I'm not buying that.
I said he was better than Bradley Beal when Bradley Beal was one of the better two guards in the game.
Up here.
You told me that he was better than Bradley Beal.
And he is. And I'll tell you why. What we're seeing in the league right now, and I think people need to really pay attention to this trend, is players like Desmond Bane are worth so much more than you think they are because of their portability. Portability gets you paid, and it upholds your trade value. There's not a single team in this league that can't use Desmond Bane. There might be teams in this league that don't want Ja Morant. I'm gonna be honest. That doesn't mean that Desmond Bane's better than Ja Morant. Not as a talent, not as a highlight reel, but he's more valuable. We saw this with Mikal Bridges too. 6 first-round picks. That dude fits in everywhere. There's not a single team that can't use Mikal Bridges. There's not a single team that can't use OG Anunoby. There's not a single team that can't use Aaron Nesmith, Alex Caruso. These off-ball wings that cut, screen, defend, do a whole bunch of stuff, can fit into 100 different lineups. Desmond Bane, think about it. He can play on ball, off ball. He can play as your third option, fourth option. It's shit. When he ages out, he can come off the bench and be elite 6-man. So that level of portability and role diversity is what teams are really valuing, because as we're seeing in the finals right now, it works. Andrew Nembhard,
so portability
Lou Dort, all these guys.
So portability means versatility. Is that what you're saying?
Portability means your ability to, it means your ability to scale up and scale down your role. Okay, so portability effectively means your ability to scale up, scale down, and fit into a diverse offensive and defensive scheme. So things that help portability: shooting, types of shooting. So a lot of people just look at, oh, this guy's a 40% 3-point shooter. How is he getting his threes? Is it off movement? Is it off the catch? Is it off the dribble? Where is it? All corner? Is it?
Jay, why you not buying this? Because I feel like KCP is going to be better in Memphis. They play faster.
Yeah, it's something else. These new words and terms and
portability. We
portability is a new term.
He said being versatile. He could have said just being a versatile player would have been enough for me. It would have been very simple.
What's the difference?
Swipe up.
I'm sorry, Jay.
No, I was trying to make
these
sure.
Two right here, they need to come up with a new basketball dictionary so we can learn these new terms.
They're very. What I really don't like about Ron as a host is that he dumbs down stuff on purpose. I just want to be clear. They use these words in the locker rooms. Like, these are all words they use like in locker rooms. Coaches use these in media press conferences. Like, these are all words. I'm sure Ox, he could have heard these overseas. I don't know if you have. But versatility, portability, it's just, these are coaches' terms that they use. That the media
and these are the locker rooms that you're in listening to. You see Mike Malone writing these on a board.
Mike Malone bringing them up afterwards.
I asked the question.
Oh, you seen Darko writing portability on the board?
No, we put portability on the board. You don't put it in the scouting report. That's what I'm saying. I just want to make sure portability and versatility was a synonym. That's all I asked. Now,
it sounds to me like
I was just more so going at Ron, because Ron is trying to make Penn, not me, because I don't care, but Penn look bad for using portability. It's crazy. Go ahead.
He's not looking bad.
What about vertical dribble?
I just don't think.
Bro, we're trying to have a conversation over here.
Yeah, man. Like, damn, my God, goodness gracious.
What you trying to do, Ron?
Bring it up.
You're trying to have a conversation. Jay,
you're not even letting me speak, Ron. You're not letting me.
I agree. Go ahead and ask your question. Ignore the host.
Again, I just asked it because I never heard the word portability the way he described it. His definition of it sounded like the word versatility or being very versatile, which would have been very more simple to say than portability. You didn't have to say portability.
But they're not the same thing.
Okay, I guess not. Okay, Swiper, let me ask you this. You said something about the second apron. So the contract matching for trades, or we had to be about 80 to 90% of the contract is only for the second apron teams now?
No,
that's not overall?
You cannot do 2-for-1s in the second apron under the new CBA that has existed now for the last 3 off seasons. So this is the third off season we're going into where you cannot do 2-for-1s at all. So the issue is that the money has to be exact, because there are penalties when you get into the second apron, like Jill has brought up before, that he hates. You're losing draft picks later down the line if you stay in the penalty for a certain amount of years. For instance, the Boston Celtics with Jill, we talked about this last October. The reason they're selling their team, they have a there's the payroll contract, there's the luxury tax, and then Penn, there's the $400 million penalty that they owe for being a second apron team. That is like a titanic level of fees that they have accumulated for being an expensive roster, even though they're a championship roster. So you have tax penalties at the second apron, you have tax penalties in the first apron, and then you have luxury tax, like just basic, you're over the cap, but there's a luxury cap hold that under the previous CBA that was it. Like that was it. That's why the Warriors, to the point of the question, the Warriors would just go over the luxury tax. They would just pay the money. They over the I think over a 10-year period, they paid damn near $1 billion, man. If I remember correctly, they paid like $1 billion.
It's close. They were the number. They were number one.
Which would explain why in this new CBA they put repeat offender in this.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. So the reason I ask this is because for to trade for a Giannis, to trade for a KD, being that they make the $50 million a year, right? That's what I'm saying. Doesn't the contracts that you trade over have to match that as well? That's what I'm trying to figure out, right? So if Memphis is going to go for a top star player, that's what I'm saying. Those guys that you guys were mentioning,
but that's a great idea, and I think that's a really good question. And I would love for Mars and Ox and Chill to get into this. And this and Ron, if you want to participate, I know language, words, and verbs, and all that stuff. What I'm saying is that now in the new CBA, Ox, you want to have two dogs. You got to have two players making $40 million or more.
Okay.
But in the new CBA, you don't want to have anybody else making, really, if you could, 25 or more. You don't even want to do that. You want to have two people taking up a percentage of your cap, and then everybody else is kind of, you have about
what is that percentage for those two guys? Is it 45%?
No, well, between the two or just
between those two. Let's break this down to a pie chart.
30%. So if there's super maxes, for instance, 30%.
Right.
And then that
you get a second guy, 25
between these two players. And then you want everyone else to not get up.
Two super maxes.
Well, I'm saying if you're the Boston, you ain't got no choice. Like you're already paying like Tatum and Brown, right? You don't want either one of them, but you have them, and you're not trading either one of them.
Atlanta's got two supermax guys. They got
Hallie and
Pascal and Pascal Siakam. Yes.
Okay, but how does the cap increase, right? Because we know it increases next year, but it also increases incrementally for the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And it also depends on how much revenue is also brought in for the next 3-4 years.
Sure.
So how much cap space can teams? How large can the cap space increase?
And this is why
allow that kind of space.
So your star under your bird rights, which I hate, by the way, because the reason why Red Auerbach came up with the bird rights, because I should be able to pay my star whatever I want, and that should not affect the salary cap. Well, the people in the NBA was like, hell no, because that ain't fair. Why? Because you got Bird. We don't have Bird, so that ain't fair to us. So now we're in a space. So now we're in a space where now these guys can only take up 35% of the cap. If you under the bird rights, super duper max, And if you got it, so for example, a guy like Triple J, if they were to pay him, not Triple J, let's stay on Boston. So Jaylen Brown, when he ended up signing his supermax, he takes up 35% of the cap. Now that's a big deal when you got another guy that you about to get on your books, that's also who you also have bird rights to, but you also about to sign him to a supermax. He's going to take up another 35% of your cap. So that's 70% of your cap. That's gone. But if the bird rights were used the way that they were supposed to be, you wouldn't have to worry about that.
Well, but remember, Chill, I told you this and you hated this. It was never about making, and Penn, because you're in the cap draft, it was never about making the league more fair.
No, it wasn't.
That's not what the CBA is about.
No, it wasn't.
It was about owners not having to pay out the money they had in previous iterations because they're cheap. Like most owners don't want to spend money. That's really what this is about.
They got it though, Swipe.
And because the players have won. The players have won the last collective bargaining agreements. They've got a lot of the chunk. They get over 50% of the revenue.
The players lost the last collective bargaining by they lost.
No, I'm saying no. This one, that's the owners won. This one, the owners won this one. But I'm saying the previous ones, the players have won. The ones, you know what I'm saying. That's why we had lockouts. Lockouts show you that the owners are saying, "Hey, man, you guys are getting too much money." We got to renegotiate. That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying.
To be completely fair, the players have never won a CBA in my lifetime. I've never seen it happen. Maybe prior to
99, you had 99, you had 11, and you had this last one, and then they both got those.
I don't think that they won it because the valuation component of this, how NBA teams have scaled value, it's the BRI is not even that relevant compared to how teams are valued. That's why Joe Lacob can spend what they spend.
But Penn, the players are never going to get more than the owners. I know. Swiper, I know how you are. Penn, I know how you are. I know you guys are pro player. The employee is never going to get more than the owner of the restaurant. I don't care how good of a chef you are, how good of an employee you are, how good if we could switch it over to a different business, how good of a worker you are, you're never going to get
50.
Wait a minute, but how about have y'all heard when Mark Cuban said that for the 20-something years he owned the Dallas Mavericks, he actually lost money like 20 years?
Yeah, that's bullshit. I just want to say this as someone who's followed Mark Cuban since 1998, followed his stock advice and all that shit. No, he did not lose money, but it's a nice little way that really rich people get to say stuff like that.
Yeah, if your expenses outweigh your profits, that's lost.
That's not how wealth accumulation works.
So remember,
I didn't say wealth. Okay, again, the team value is increasing throughout his time of being. Exactly when he bought it. 20
are you an NFL fan, by the way?
I stopped watching NFL about 10 years ago. No.
Well, so you remember the last one, Chill, you probably remember this. Remember the players took a lower percentage of the pod chill and didn't get guaranteed health insurance because they took marijuana off the books and said that we will no longer test for marijuana. So
that's
they
an NFL. That's an NFL.
Yeah, they make compromises like that a lot with like certain things that players want to do. Players will say we will take a lesser portion of control or money so that we don't get penalized on certain innocuous things that we think we should not have to deal with anymore.
Swipe, and these are the guys that you think need to make more than owners.
I didn't say that. I never made that argument. Ron said that for me.
They'd rather lose millions upon millions of dollars. And these is the dudes that you like. Nah, get in.
Well, no, remember,
they don't even got enough sense to look out.
I agree with you, but remember, the people I'm addressing, you don't got enough sense to stop smoking weed. So you can make. I agree, but more money. But Ox, remember, there's your LeBron.
You expect these dudes to be financially literate?
No, wait, hold on.
You don't got to wake up on a Monday morning.
You don't got to be with me.
After 60 minutes with 250-pound men banging on you.
Okay, but you don't got to be with me on this. What I'm saying is,
I'm just saying, bro.
That's what's happening, Ron.
That's real.
Sorry, just
those dudes are hurt.
Scratching into you. How about that,
Ron? I'm 45. I don't do this young generation stuff. I can say what I said. They be hitting each other.
Saying, Ox, I'm sorry.
You can say whatever you want. What I'm trying to tell you is, at the end of the day, you would rather have that extra 30-40 million than you would smoke a little weed. I'm trying. I've been smoking weed all my life, Swiper.
But again, it ain't LeBron, Carmelo, CP3, Chris Bosh, like in that iteration in 11, this iteration of the highest paid player is never about them. Remember, and I'm not saying you remember, the people that make up a majority of the salaries in the league are the vet men's to the minimum paid players, the less than taxpayer MLE. Those are the ones that are saying, no, because I don't want to lock out because I haven't saved my money. Ox, and you know this, because you've been around the game. A lot of these dudes, they get paid during the year, Chill. Do they save a dime of their money? No. So they can't have a lockout because they broke. And so therefore, because they didn't take care of their money, they're more willing to go into the CBA and agree to whatever, because as long as the checks start coming back in, even if they're losing powers. Whereas you get your 25 million up players that are saving money because they have the luxury of saving money. They're the ones that are saying, no, we can wait and hold out. But they're only making up like 15% of who's making money in the league. Everybody else just got to get in where they fit in.
Hey, Swiper, stop giving these dudes excuses. He said, because they have the luxury to save money. You think them other dudes don't have that make $7 million don't have the luxury to save money?
I agree. They should be saving their money. I'm saying those are the ones that are
or invest their money, or would they rather spend?
I 100% agree with you, Ox. Trust me, I'm right there with you, bro.
Swiper, that just killed me when you just said that. They decided they'll take less, no health insurance, because they could smoke some weed.
Yo, I'm not saying they should do that though. Like, let me be clear about that. I didn't say that. I
know you didn't. I want to bring it back to the trade though, yo.
But that's crazy.
I want to bring it back to the trade, and I want to bring it back to the original part that we started on. Penny kind of started getting into it with the 4 draft picks. Well, essentially 5 draft picks. And I know a lot of people. So I've checked a lot of social media posts. I've had a bunch of different conversations. I've been seeing what's going on Twitter. A lot of people are up in the air about whether those 5 picks was worth it. And I just want to ask you guys whether you believe that Desmond Bane was worth those 5 picks. And, Ox, before we get into it, it's an old saying, Chill. It ain't tricking if you got it.
It ain't tricking if you got it.
They had the 5 picks. they felt it was worth spending the 5 picks. But how do you guys feel about Desmond Bane going for 5 picks?
I just want to say this first real quick. Well, my bad, Chill. But let me.
No, you straight.
It 100% is tricking if you got it. But if you got it, you okay with tricking. You know what I'm saying? It's tricking for sure. It's actually tricking in its purest form. You know what I'm saying? Because I can afford to be a trick.
Maybe we
it's
can.
Tricking.
Maybe let's get to the bottom of what exactly tricking is, though. Because if you're tricking dough, like what is tricking dough? Because if you're tricking dough, like you just blowing it. That's what you're doing, right? Yeah. But if I got dough to blow, all right. So what? It ain't no big deal.
That's what I'm saying. It's just people look at it as a negative thing. It's like, nah, it's tricking.
And we all think Orlando's going to be a contender for the next 3-4 years, right? Which I think so.
Not FanDuel. FanDuel said gives them the 5th best odds behind who? The Celtics. Oh, and by the way, Ron, do you know where the Pacers are for next year for title odds out of the
probably got them at like 3?
3 behind the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Knicks.
That's who I got representing the East next year.
Who?
But that's right now, right?
Okay, well, of course you did. But the Cleveland, the Knicks, Pacers, and then it's Boston without Jason Tatum, and then it's the Magic after the main.
Did I not say to you guys, because
Jaylen Brown
a lot of times you dudes talk to me like I am an idiot.
Hey, Ox, by the way.
Jaylen Brown fan right here. Yes, indeed, I am.
I 100% am blown away because you dudes talk to me like I'm a fucking idiot. I said before the season started that their season. This season, the Cleveland Cavaliers, their ceiling was the Eastern Conference Championship. And I said, next year, I think they challenge for the NBA championship. I said that. So now let's remove
the floor for Celtics was the title. So,
and I did say that.
They were down 3-1.
No, the floor with them was the NBA Finals. I didn't say the title.
Yeah, that's what I said. The NBA Finals. They were down 3-1 in the second
round. Right. I was wrong. I was wrong.
But there was no way for you to be wrong at that point.
You've been wrong too, Swiper.
Nah. What have I been wrong about?
But again, as I was saying, take Jason Tatum out of the mix. What does this Celtic team look like next season? Taking Jason Tatum out.
Everybody's there.
Jaylen Brown, all NBA
will
first
not.
team.
First of all, chill. Okay, everyone will not be there. They are aggressively looking to shop Drew Holiday, potentially Kristaps Porzingis. Yep. Mm-hmm. We don't know where these guys are going to be.
Crew's going to look a lot different than what you're saying.
They're not. They're not going to pay what they're paying. They're the most expensive team in NBA history right now. Yep. They're not paying that without Jason Tatum. On a championship run.
Yep.
I think based on like the biggest winner of this Desmond Bane trade is actually Boston, because the market value for Derek White just went up. Very similar player.
Well,
very similar player. A little bit older, but similar.
I think we bug out with these draft picks because, again, as a GM, Ox has actually got me over to that side because I'm thinking about what Houston doing. I'm thinking about what Detroit is doing. But then I'm also thinking about how close you are to winning the NBA championship if you just made one move today.
Sure, you just seen the Pacers.
How close you are, right? How close you are to winning the NBA championship or at least being there. Ox has actually pulled me over to that side because I'm very much into building my unit and turning my unit into something years later. But if I'm close, considering, and I've already said this to you guys, we might be looking at the 8th champion next year. Well, shit, if I'm Orlando and if I can get lucky enough to have some health next season, and I can get one. Don't tell me that Desmond Bane doesn't change their trajectory.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're going to be really good, Chill.
Desmond Bane 100% changes their trajectory, and he could be the difference.
And Chill, would you make an argument, Chill, that they're going to be just as good defensively and then better offensively with a better offensive player?
I think they're going to be better, to be honest with you.
Yes.
I think they're going to be better. I think they're going to be better defensively. So now, to add a guy like Desmond Bane onto that crew, yes, I'm 100% looking to do that. I'm thinking about these draft picks, Ox, and I'm thinking about the GM, because like I said, you're pulling me over to that side more and more. And I'm thinking as a GM, I'm getting fired in 5 years. I'm probably not going to be here. So why do I care about my first round draft pick in 2031?
That's a terrible way. That's a terrible way to manage.
See, that's why I don't think that they should be having these 80-some-year-old presidents, because I'll be thinking they looking at the world like that. See, I'm not saying I shouldn't care, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's sabotage or anything. But I just think if it's not going to absolutely bury us in the future, I think we should be going after rings. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think
especially
now. Right. I think those type of teams, the 5 I named, and I was going back and forth with the Raptors, but then I remembered how much I like B.I. and Scotty Barnes, and I'm like, nah, they're in this too. Like the Raptors,
in what?
But
For you,
Swiper. I think that these 5 teams. I think the San Antonio Spurs absolutely. The Spurs, the Rockets, the Pistons, the Orlando Magic, and the Toronto Raptors. I think those are the teams that can make moves to put themselves into contention. Now, I'm not saying they'll be favorites, but I think those 5 teams. I think you make the right move. Don't lose your mind and try to go after Giannis. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's feasible, but make a move. Like a guy like Desmond Bane, I think he was a slept on asset that Orlando saw. Like we could get him for. I mean, some people think it's a high price. Some people think it's cheap.
But that's the question. Is 4 picks too much? Is 4 picks?
I think you get what you pay.
I know it's 5. I'm just saying, but it's the swap and then the 4 extra picks, right?
I think the part of this that has to be stated is how many of those.
And the NBA, it's not the NFL. Draft picks don't mean nothing. Unless you got the top 10 pick, it really don't mean nothing.
That's not true.
Don't worry. I just think you shouldn't worry too much about that if you really believe that your team can make a push and still be feasible and still be a good basketball team in the next 3 to 4 years. If you do miss, like if you miss, are you going to be all right? You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a bit of a present value bias when it comes to draft picks. People don't often assume that these picks will amount to anything. Everybody says the same thing. Oh, well, in the future's not real. No, I'm not saying you said that. I'm saying people say that. And when I look at the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander trade, right? That trade pretty much built the OKC dynasty. They were not heading into dynasty talks before that. Now, granted, they got to win one before we call them a dynasty at all. But I'm saying when you look at J-Dub, when you look at Shai, that is directly traded for Paul George. And in that moment, it made a lot of sense because you get Paul George and you get Kawhi Leonard, right? I will remind you, in the 2003 NBA draft, this is the craziest shit. Do you know how the Detroit Pistons ended up with the number 2 pick?
Yeah, tell us this dumb story all over again, please. Not from you, but the dumb trade that led into that. Go ahead.
It was Otis Thorpe.
Yeah.
It was a 1997 trade that sent Otis Thorpe to the Vancouver Grizzlies that resulted in that. And Jerry West showed up to that draft with a top 1 protected 2003 pick, which meant that he walked into that draft lottery knowing he was getting LeBron or he was getting nobody. Now, it's not talked about enough because they picked Darko Milicic. Imagine if they'd picked Carmelo Anthony. Otis Thorpe for Carmelo Anthony sounds like a really dumbass trade, right? Otis Thorpe for Chris Bosh sounds like a really dumbass trade.
Wade. Shoot. Matter of fact, Chris Kaman at the time instead of Darko Milicic would have been a better deal. Yeah, and they would have won in any one of those players.
So exactly. That's kind of the point.
I hear what you're saying. They can cough up all those picks, all 4 of those picks. They can cough them up. That we're not thinking about that. Like Ox said, we're trying to win next year.
Unprotected firsts are not a good idea.
Players. We got
that was the DeJounte Murray trade with
Atlanta. We got our top star player. We got our second guy behind him. Now we're going to add Bane. Swiper said it was going to be a good contract under 25 mil. Work well. Build good roster. Got some good role players.
Now they actually going to have their contracts are going to be interesting though, in somewhere in the future. Like
I'll tell you why you don't do unprotected, because life is funny.
Unprotected. Right? I'll tell you why you shouldn't go unprotected.
Why?
You better wrap it before you tap it.
Anybody got personal experience?
You know what, Ox? That's clutch advice. You definitely should wrap it up. You should wrap it up. You should wrap it up. And don't use 2 socks. Definitely use 1. The second one is not effective. But what I'm saying
will make it break.
Absolutely. And
next year I might get a tie.
So when the Indiana Pacers traded for Pascal Siakam, they traded a 2026 pick. You know what they did to that pick? Top 4 protected. Top 4 protected, because you never know. At the very least, I would protect the pick top 3. I understand it diminishes the value just a little bit, but if you're such a great team with Desmond Bane and it shouldn't matter to the other team, that protection is humility, because we don't know. Something could happen with the Orlando Magic in 2028 where they end up finishing in the play-in. Now, what happens if they finish in the play-in and they end up with the first overall pick, kind of like, I don't know, the Dallas Mavericks just did this year, kind of like the Atlanta Hawks did last year? We don't know. So you could end up having given up a first overall pick and you don't even get it. That's the thing that I'm talking about. That
I agree with you on
part
that.
Is
like
that
does make sense.
And the pick swap makes that unprotected as well, because
that's why we have
basically 2028, 2029, 2030. What if you do finish with a top 4 pick? You don't have that pick. That's what I'm saying. When you think about that, now it's Desmond Bane for that. That's the type of offer. No offense to Desmond Bane. Love Desmond Bane. That's the type of offer you give up for Giannis, not Desmond Bane.
Not in this era.
Yeah, but Penn, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying Penn is that once you Penn, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, are you a bit of a hoarder?
Hell
like,
no.
do you have a problem throwing stuff away?
I am absolutely the opposite. I'm a minimalist. So apart from this,
sure.
He's had those same headphone locks for 2 years. And they've been broke for 2 years.
So no,
shit,
not broke.
I had to take mine right here. These cracked last week.
Fix them. Okay, I have one hat. I have 4 hoodies, and I have like 18
Scotch tape right here on mine.
There you go. No, I have no aversion to throwing things away.
Well, okay. So what I'm saying is just because I think in a situation like this, if you're going for the gusto, if you're going for the win, right? I just think you got to keep your eyes on your yard. You know what I'm saying? Like let's just work. Let's just focus on our lawn right now. Let's get our grass green. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it lined up, keep it edged up. Let's focus on this. Don't worry about the fact that somebody came to our house for a yard sale, got some stuff, and then went and sold it for 10 times what they paid for it. You know what I'm saying? We can't worry about that anymore. We got to be focused on us winning. And I think Desmond Bane is that can help them win. That's all I'm saying. Like I understand that these draft picks can be valuable, but what's more valuable? Me making a really, really good top 10 draft pick, or me getting to the finals because the East is wide open and the West is pretty much an even playing field as well, unless you think that okay, she's gonna be some powerhouse like the Warriors that can't be beat. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I think the league is a win now league, y'all. I mean,
that's what we live.
I believe,
but I think that's why. But I think that's why Memphis asked for those picks, because they know Orlando's not going to be a bad team. So I'm not going to just take a first rounder, 2 first rounder for Bane. What if I only get 220 something? In their mind, it is a risk. But like he said, you never know what could happen. So 2 years from now, I can trade it. I still got 2 first round draft picks in my assets. I can trade if I want to make better for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, in the NBA, unless you got top 10 picks for sure, it's all a gamble. It's all a shoot.
But it also kind of tells you there could have been someone else trying to trade for Desmond Bane as well, that they had to up their deal.
That's true.
Could be. That's very possible.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like for instance,
and swap one.
Shoot, hey, the Kings, Sacramento Kings, Desmond Bane would have been nice. I'm willing to bet there are a couple teams that were looking at that
another 2 guard.
Don't y'all already have a 2 guard in
Sacramento? We want Triple J. That's what we want, Swiper. We want Triple J. They need to come off of that. But my thing, you got
to pay him, Ox. You do understand that, right?
I don't care.
So you don't care. You don't care paying him in Sacramento, but Memphis, on the other hand, he's coming off somebody to open up some more money for him. That's dumb for them to do that.
But chill,
meanwhile, you trade for him to pay him.
It's the contract on the table for Jaren Jackson is a 4-year 146. It is not like
I think that's crazy to move Desmond Bane to pay him. I think that's crazy.
It's not to pay him though. He's already getting paid.
Well, I know, Swiper. I'm just saying, like, to Chill's point. Chill said that I think it's dumb to move Desmond Bane for him, but I think that we should trade for him. Yes, because we could put him and DeMontis together. So yeah, I think we should. Memphis, we should pay him. Yes, I would pay him.
I think Memphis is rebuilding. They don't have a face of the team.
But chill, if he would have got DPOY this year,
he's not the face you want. He's not the face.
Desmond Bane was the face.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why they're rebuilding, because they thought John Morant was that dude, but
I don't think they're rebuilding.
John Morant is still their franchise center.
I got you. I understand that. That just like
John on his way to Miami, right?
Just because you have them means you want them. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know that. I don't know that, but I mean they still got their 2 top players though. They still got Ja and Jaren, and I mean
Jalen Wells.
Ja still sells seats, so that's a good thing. He's still gonna sell seats. He is a box.
He about to sell seats down there.
I just don't think they want him anymore. I think they're ready to move on for him.
But who's we?
Johnny, Ja about to sell seats for y'all, Johnny.
Who?
Miami.
Ja can't never come to Miami. You crazy? With Pat Riley? Y'all don't know about Miami.
Pat on his way out.
Yeah, right. Pat owns the team. Man, Pat's part owner. Pat ain't going nowhere. Pat's chilling. You talk about nepotism. Y'all want to talk about nepotism? Miami got nothing but nepotism all over Miami. Trust me when I tell you this, man.
W nepotism. I'm all for nepotism.
All right, y'all. Well, right quick. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time for the L host picks of the day. We got Prize Picks, and with Prize Picks, you can get $50 instantly when you play just $5 in promo funds. But here's the thing: it's a catch. you have to use promo code panel. You see, promo code panel is the key to unlocking everything with Prize Picks. Not only will it get you that $50 back instantly, but when you use promo code panel, you will have access to our beautiful and lovely picks. As you can see right here, $50 turns into $500. And of course, we use promo code panel. Now, here's exactly what we're doing. We have everything up here is first 5 minutes. So we will make our $500 in the first 5 minutes. Now, what we need is for Pascal Siakam's PRA to be more than 3.5. So in the first 5 minutes, we need Pascal Siakam to either get 2 buckets or a couple free throws or a couple rebounds, assists, whatever the case may be. But we need 4 from Pascal Siakam. We need Tyrese Halliburton to go less than 3.5 in the first 5 minutes. We need Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to go less than 5 or 5 or less in the first 5 minutes. And then we need J-Dub to go more than 4 or 4 or more. So that's how we rock it, and we will have $500 within the first 5 minutes of the game. You see, guys, unlike Penn, I'm not looking at them first-round picks 10 years from now. I'm trying to hit today, right now. I'm not trying to hit in the third quarter, the fourth quarter after the game. I need to hit in the first 5 minutes, and this is how we rock it today. You guys let me know how you guys are going to do it, and let me know if you use promo code panel or not. We'll see you guys on playback for game 5 tonight, and I can't wait. But before we get back into this game, y'all, it's just one thing that I gotta say.
Me regarding these for having delayed gratification is weird as hell.
Well, that's actually what I'm about to get into, Penn.
It's the greatest predictor of success. Okay. Self-esteem and delayed gratification.
Yeah, and you know what? It doesn't. Hey, that delayed gratification doesn't always come.
Trading Kobe Bryant for Vlade Divac.
Okay, you can look at moments like that, but I can also look at moments because you're talking about gap years and stuff like that. I can also look at the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
I can look at James Wiseman. I can look at Jonathan Kuminga. I can look at Moses Moody. They got all of these guys, and we were like, damn, the Warriors are set up to win now, and they're set up to win in the future.
Right.
And you know what? That number 2 pick, Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, didn't turn out to be shit for the Warriors. I guarantee you right now, let's rewind back and let's say that Desmond Bane was on the table right now. If they could trade Desmond Bane for those three players, number 2 pick included, because we'll put the number 2 pick on a pedestal. Even right now, that Spurs number 2 pick, we're valuing that so high.
That number 2 pick would turn out Desmond Bane right now. I'll guarantee you that. Spurs would not move that for Desmond Bane.
I know they wouldn't. But if that number 2 pick turned out to be James Wiseman, I bet they would. The point I'm trying to make is we value these picks so much until these picks turn out to be garbage, until they turn out to be bust. Now, obviously, you can't predict.
You know what pick Desmond Bane was?
Obviously, you can't know what the pick is going to be until you get it and they turn out to be what it is. But I'm saying the point I'm trying to make is we see flops every single year. We see draft busts every year, and I just think picks are overvalued. That's my only thing.
No, he was not. He just was on a horrible team.
A lot of these picks just don't turn out to be worth it.
Davion Mitchell
Look great now. Yeah, he was in a bum organization.
Don't worry. He's gonna start making his open threes in Miami next year. We good.
Okay,
we good. Yep. Pat Riley way, baby.
Hey, Ron, how do you feel like this from the Memphis side? To do a little bit of your job, give you a little break. From the Memphis side, how do you feel about this deal for them? Do you think this opens up an opportunity for them? What would you expect from them for the next several months, maybe leading into the NBA season?
I don't know. It seems like they're we obviously don't know because we're not in their front office, but it seems like it's one of 2 things. Either they're about to get off John Triple J and completely rebuild from scratch, which I don't agree with because, as you guys know, I loved Memphis' team last year. And they're still relatively young, so I think not even relatively young. They're still very young, so I thought they had a bright future. So I think that they're either gonna scrap everything and rebuild, or I think that was to Penn's point. I don't know who was making the point, but they got those 4 picks, and then they got these younger players. They can go make a bomb deal and go.
They've got okay. Wait for this. A big word. Optionality. They've got optionality. It's a wonderful thing in the NBA because they can pivot one way or the other and they can play the field. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and so they might go get a big name, and it doesn't have to be this season. It might be next off season. You know, it ain't really no rush, but they got action at one of those two things.
You're muted.
You muted.
I don't think they're holding on to Cole Anthony. I think they're coming off of him because they got Scottie Pippen. So I don't.
Don't you think they need both of them?
No,
given where the league is,
they don't.
No,
need both of them. No.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think Cole Anthony or Kentavious Caldwell-Pope cracking that rotation next year.
You don't think KCP's on the if he's on the team making the rotation?
I think he's starting two guard next year.
Wait, if he's on the team, he's not playing.
He's their starting two guard next year.
What do you mean he's not playing for $22 million at 32 years old?
He's their starting two guard.
Man, this might be your worst take, and you said some Scotty Barnes takes.
You think Wells is starting over him?
No, playing. He said playing in the rotation.
I don't think he's in their upper. Like, let me clarify. I don't think.
No. You said he's not playing.
He's not in their key. He's not in their rotation. He's not
one of their 8-9 guys.
No, KCP. Hell no. You need to stop. Stop shaking your head, bobblehead.
That's nuts. That is nuts,
look at that roster. Look at that roster.
Let's look
up
at
and
that
down.
roster.
Look at that roster. You got Gigi Jackson. You got Jalen Wells.
Small forward.
Okay, sure. Jalen Wells, John Morant, Scottie Pippen Jr. Right? Jalen can play the two, and Jalen probably will play the two. You know, I think
I'm willing to bet you Jalen starts at the 3.
And so who's starting at the 2? KCP?
Yes, KCP is their starting two guard.
Yes. I believe it's going to be KCP too.
Yes,
I don't.
Two guards.
You know what? Penn said he said he's out of the rotation. So tell me, what's the bet, Penn? What bet? What are you putting your money out there? What you putting out there? Putting the film out there? Film watch? What you doing? What's the bet? That not only is I'm saying he's in the rotation. But chill. You know you old enough. Remember when you used to have to do double bets when you made bets on the street back in the day. So I got a bet not only he's in the rotation that he's starting. So I want double the money that I win both of those, and then you lose. Period for saying he's not going to be in the rotation. Period. You said 8 to 9. You said 8 to 9. I'm guaranteeing he's going to be in the top 6. So I want double money. I want money when he's in the rotation.
Will he remain in the top 6?
No, that's not what you said. You said in the rotation.
One of two things.
I don't think he's in the rotation next year.
One of two things is going to happen here, Penn. Either he's their starting two guard and they really high on Jalen Wells, and Jalen Wells is going to overtake him eventually. Or
who started at the 3 then? Chill in that situation.
Because
Jackson.
I think Gigi Jackson starts at the 3. Yep. And
he's not starting over Jalen Wells.
It really does depend.
Hold on. And Triple J starts at the 4 and Zach starts at the 5.
But who? Again, I just remember for the year. Again, I know Jalen Wells was starting at 3 because they had Bane. But I'm saying Jalen Wells is also like built right now at this point in time in his career as a 3. Remember, I picked him for rookie of the year. So like I feel like I've watched him a good bit. He's not yet ready, I don't think, to play that role. Whereas you get KCP, who personally, me, Penn, I think he was in a dog water situation last year offensively.
You think he plays over Luke Kennard?
Luke Kennard's not on the team. Luke Kennard's not on the team. He's not on the team. He's not on the team. He's not on the team.
Yeah, Luke Kennard comes off the book.
Yeah, he's going to be off the books this summer.
They're not re-signing him.
No, I don't think so. He's from everything I've heard.
KCP's playing over.
He's much better. He's much better than Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard is a 47
games. No, but Luke Kennard is he's very well known for passing up shots.
It also legitimately depends. Like a lot legitimately depends on what direction they go. So first of all, we don't know what this roster is going to look like. They just got 4 first-round picks. They have a lot of their own picks. They have, like, I don't want to say they have OKC level draft capital, but they're close. They have a lot of picks. So if they go and make a win now move, I could certainly see KCP being in the rotation.
No. I want a jersey pin. Buy me I want a Scotty Barnes
Stay focused,
jersey.
Swiper. No,
I want a Scotty Barnes jersey.
You don't deserve a Scotty Barnes jersey.
Stay focused.
You are not worthy of wearing a Scotty Barnes jersey. You wear your Nikola Jokic.
Chill. When he came out in the draft, before I met this clown right here, I wrongly said he's going to be a top 5 player in the league at some point. I wrongly said it because he's clearly not. So I was higher him than you were. I was that high out of Florida State.
You were not higher.
Remember, you hush. I was high on Malik Beasley out of Florida State, Devin Vassell, and Scotty Barnes. And Scotty I had the highest grade on. That clown doesn't know what he's talking about. I want a Scotty Barnes jersey when you lose this bet.
Let's get back to what you were saying, Penn. Right. So with Luke Kennard coming off the bench, even though I think KCP is better than him, and I think he plays more than him, I think the style of play that Memphis has, they play fast. Right. So with them playing fast, KCP is really good as a as an above the break 3-point shooter. Like when he was in in Denver, he was also good in skip passes. So I feel like
those passes to him?
Joker. That's who.
No, now.
Oh, you mean now? I think you got to give more credit to John's the distributor.
Yeah,
John's a lot better passer than
John's a lot better passer. Still a solid defender. John's a
lot better passer than I gave him credit for. A lot better. So with that, so with that being said, Luke Kennard coming off the bench. Luke Kennard coming off the books. KCP, I feel like he's that vet that Jalen Wells needs that he doesn't have, and I think that he's gonna. Also the rest of those dudes. I think that's the vet that they didn't have.
They needed. They're right. That's true. They needed a vet on that roster. You sure about that?
And with that, and with this Memphis team, you get KCP for cheaper. With getting KCP for cheaper, he fits better with the
cheaper than Bane.
Yes, cheaper than Bane. Fits better with the unit. There's a gap between him and Bane. I'm not gonna argue that point.
Better with the unit than who?
He has portability. He does. He has portability.
Yeah,
he can play. He can play 2 and 3. That's how
Denver Nuggets to Orlando. Now he's gonna do it in Memphis. He got portability.
He definitely got portability.
100% he does. So I just feel like I feel like this is a win-win for both of these teams. I do, and them draft picks, y'all dudes. I think I'm in the minority. To be honest with you. If I'm not mistaken, when Rudy Gobert went for those 5-1s, one of those 5-1s was the kid from Ohio State, Sandoval.
Sensabaugh.
Okay,
and then Walker Kessler.
No, it was Isaiah Collier.
Well, no, they got Walker Kessler in the deal. I'm saying for Rudy too.
But I'm saying
no. Isaiah Collier was from a trade from Toronto.
Do we know exactly what Rudy's picks are? And this is what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about.
I can guarantee you that pick that they used on
they got Walker Kessler for him,
came from Toronto.
I know, but that's the point.
It came from Toronto last year at the trade deadline. They traded Ochai Agbaji and Kelly Olynyk to Toronto, and they took back Otto Porter's contract and some stuff, and then they got that late first. That pick was used for Isaiah Collier.
So they got with those picks
from Toronto via Indiana.
With those picks, if they would have never traded for Rudy, and let's say they drafted these exact players,
nowhere.
Do the Wolves do they go to back-to-back Western Conference Finals?
Well, Rudy Gobert, no. Rudy is the most important player on the roster.
And so that's the point I'm making, Swiper. We value these picks.
They don't have a top 10 defense without him for sure. That's
what I'm saying. We value these picks. Exactly. but it'd be like, what do you want to do? Do you want to wait for something that you don't know what it's going to be? It's basically like it's a mystery box. Or do you want to win right now? The Orlando Magic made the decision to bring in a high-level 3-and-D guy who, like you said, Penn, he's versatile. He can play the 1, he can play the 2, he can play the 3, he can play with the ball, he can play without the ball, he can guard 1 through 3. He has playoff experience. He doesn't take anything away from them. He actually adds to their toughness. He adds to their defense. He adds to their offense. On top of that, he's an underrated playmaker. Desmond Bane was the absolute steal for them. And they might have overpaid for him. But hey, chill.
If that's my point, Ron. No, you're not overpaying, right? Because the teams who asked for 4 first-rounders, 5 first-rounders, look at all of them: the Brooklyn Nets, the Clippers, the Utah Jazz, and now Memphis Grizzlies. These are all teams that are trying to just really rebuild. That's
Can I ask you a question? Does it swing your opinion at all if I told you that for the last 2 years, Desmond Bane has averaged 28% from 3 in the playoffs?
We don't care about playoffs.
No, we don't care about playoffs. Okay,
no, cool. We don't, because you can't knock somebody for no 5-game series and no 6-game series when he's shooting 39% in a 70-game series.
It's across.
He can shoot. The point is, can he shoot? Games. Can he shoot, sir? Of course. Yes. Okay, then. So don't bring up his 28 points. That's not him. That's not what he does.
But that's what he did.
That's just what you wanted to go
find. So if he did that, so
Penn,
if we had a guy who averaged 30 or averaged 25 a game for a 5 playoff game series, and that's the only time we saw him. Is that who he is?
Thank you.
I think they both count. Right, so
I'm gonna trade 4 picks for Jamal Murray.
And this is a nasty pull from you too, because I just went to all his playoff series. Western Conference, or in the first round against Utah when he was 22, the 2021 season, he shot 50% from 3.
And he played 19 minutes a game.
Okay, the next year, hold on, the next year,
play matters.
Hold on, the next year he played 38 minutes a game.
Jeffries, man, I'm telling you, bro.
He played 38 minutes a game in a series against Minnesota, and he shot 49% from 3.
Mm-hmm.
The next year, he played 33 minutes a game against the Warriors.
Yep.
Started every game. He shot 48% from three.
Penn, what's going on, Penn?
The next year against the Lakers.
No,
However,
no,
his last two playoff
year.
series, don't got to be his next playoff series against the Lakers. He shot 32% from three.
Okay, now go to the last 2 years.
No, that was 2 years ago.
Okay,
he shot 32%. And then last year, or this year against OKC, which Penn? Best defense ever, most historic defense of all time. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, he shot 21%.
No,
but once again, you would contextualize
the 4 games that he played in this playoffs, the 4 games he played in this playoffs, which he shot bad in, shot 22%, and what knocks it down. That's what he wants to do. That's what I'm saying. He wants to take a 4-game sample to tell us
shot 32% the previous year. I mean, bro, you 45 and you don't know basic math.
What do you mean? But that's not about basic math. That's your misinterpretation of the stats. He's not a bad shooter. To use that to say he's not
I never said he was a bad shooter. You heard what you wanted to hear. Because
32% Penn sound like a bad shooter.
Why would you bring up 28%?
The long ball.
Why would you bring it up? That's what Westbrook shoots from 3-point land. That's what you're basically trying to say. He's not trustworthy in the playoffs because of the last 2 playoffs, which is basically 10 games.
That's what I heard too.
You're going to take 10 games. You're going to take 10 games, and when this man was shooting 39% in the season over 60 games.
He's cooking. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know if you need to rewind the tape. I said
he shoots 41% for his career. That's his career. He shoots 41% from the 3-point line for his career. But because Penn wants to bring up 10 games, we're going to have to talk about his 10 games. Stop it, Penn.
And Penn,
can we move on to another conversation, brother? Because I didn't want to even get to this point.
Nah, it's a 1v1. It's a 1v1 chill. 1v1 chill.
Stop this bullshit. Okay, first of all, I asked a question. I said, does it move your thinking at all to know?
No, it never moved nothing. And there was no portability in that conversation.
I wasn't specifically asking you.
There was nothing moving. Nothing was moving.
I was asking the real hoop knowers up here. I wasn't talking to you. Okay,
it doesn't move.
I'm a hooper.
To answer your question,
I said hoop knowers. You're not a listener.
To answer your question, Penn, no.
I heard you clearly.
No,
it's a 1v1.
I'm sorry.
We heard you clearly.
Do with me.
All right, well,
I mean, what was the implication of bringing up?
You know what it is? Everyone picks up like one little thing, and they're like, "Oh, that's something I can cook on." So let me scream into a microphone for 5 minutes and make a whole point that nobody ever made. I don't care. I've never called Desmond Bane a bad shooter, buddy. You don't know my take on Desmond.
So why did you bring up? So why did you bring up 21? Why did you bring up 32% for a starting 2 guard in the playoffs? That sounds bad, Penn. That sounds like somebody that I can't rely on when playoff time comes.
I said 28%.
You said, quote.
We heard it. We heard the numbers.
You said, quote, Penn, does it move you that he shot 32%?
28%.
I'm sorry,
28% over the last 2 years.
This is a starting 2 guard, right? This is a starting 2 guard in the NBA. If I have those numbers, that doesn't sound good in the playoffs.
But that's reality. That's what happened, though. Isn't it?
If he responded to you by saying that's a 10-game sample size, though.
But that's
a fair response.
Of
19-minute sample size is too small.
Like, that's a
10-game sample size is just enough.
Over his career in the playoffs, he shoots damn near 40%. It's 39%.
There's a difference between taking an L, which is a loss, and taking an L, which is a lesson.
Over the larger sample size,
and move on.
Do we not? Okay, first of all, you're not handing me any L's. You like a walking L. You a walking L. You basically dropping L's out of your ass.
Whenever you're ready, you will never show up on Go James Kingdom talking like that. And I will show up on any platform you on talking like this. I don't care if it's PC, if it's anywhere. Bring me where you're at, and I'll show you exactly how many L's I got for you, sir.
We're here right now.
I'm cooking. I want to move on because he's really trying to make us seem like his case for 28% for 10 playoff games.
What case? I asked a fucking question.
I said no, it doesn't move me. That's not a basketball. How can it move any basketball hooper?
Cool.
Anybody who knows basketball, how can that move you? Do you want to tell me
playoff performances matter?
The Orlando Magic was going to turn down this trade. Orlando Magic going to turn down this trade because he shot 28%.
You keep saying it's 10 games, it's 10 games, it's 10 games. First of all, let's be clear about something. When you go into the playoffs, your game gets schemed. I believe personally. Now you can keep shaking your head. Why don't you turn your camera off and have your gyrations and your weird movements off? Like, I don't really appreciate your energy right now, and honestly, it's not really warranted. I'm not saying anything super controversial. I'm not really calling you out. Frankly, I'm trying to ignore your existence right now. because frankly, your existence bothers me. Okay, so let me be clear about that. First, no, you go expose yourself, man. Yeah, you really exposing yourself.
So what
right
happened
now.
when they were strategizing in 12 games and he shot 46% in the playoffs? What happened that playoffs? What happened then? What happened then?
Since Desmond Bane has become like a really prominent part of the offense and a scouted part of the offense,
he wasn't prominent in 22. He wasn't prominent in 22 when he shot 46%. That's what I'm saying. We let this
that's
man
just 1 year.
Small
Sample size. I don't know what to tell you.
I
Small
gave you
sample size.
41% for his career. That's not enough for you. Move on. He could shoot. And I'm going to trade 4 draft picks for him because he's going to help my team win a championship.
At what point did I say Desmond Bane can't shoot?
Nonsense.
I actually, in the beginning of this
when
episode,
you said he shot 28% in the playoffs, and somehow that moved you away from thinking what he could contribute to a team.
Let me give you a refrigerator magnet for yourself and just put this on your refrigerator. Facts are not your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. Those are facts. Okay,
41% is not my feelings. 41% is not my feelings. 28% is your feelings.
Emotional as hell.
Because you
I
said
don't really
what
understand
moves
this
me.
at
You
all.
asked me if something could move me, then you said I'm emotional. What was I supposed to be moved with? What knowledge did you drop so I could move on your side of this conversation? Since you said emotions no longer matter.
I think if Steph Curry or any play, like, first of all, yesterday when this trade broke, people said that this is the best shooter since Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I've heard that take many times. He's a high volume 3-point shooter. He shoots great volume. He shoots it off the catch, off the move. He shoots it in a diverse number of ways. What I'm saying is, in the playoffs over the last 2 seasons, it's been 28%. It's a fact. I'm not saying that means it's a bad trade. I never argued it was a bad trade. I said maybe you might have overpaid if those picks turn out to be really good, but I never came out here saying, oh, by the way, Desmond Bane's not a good shooter because he shot 28%. I'm saying that's a fact. Okay. Now you can use that fact and also balance out the fact that he shot 41% on his career across five years and decide which of those two numbers mean more to you. I don't really understand why you're so emotional about this. I think you're emotional because your brain just fragmented on 28% and being like, what's Penn trying to do? He's trying to fool me. And oh my God, it's like you got emotional about portability. Like, I can't believe you used the word portability. I think you just got real emotional energy.
I'm disturbed by grown men who decide to talk basketball, and rather than talk the game of basketball, they try to find little silly takes to sound smart. So when you decided to use 28%, you decided to make it seem like you were making a monumental statement about why you feel something about Bane.
It's not monumental.
It's incorrect. It is an incorrect statement that you made.
We can never see other people beyond what we are.
You asked me if 28% moves me in any other direction about Desmond Bane. It didn't, because the overall picture is Desmond Bane is a lethal 3-point shooter, not only in catch and shoot situations, off the dribble. He averages 20 points per game for a reason. He shoots 40% and was compared to Klay Thompson and Stephon Curry for a reason, not Westbrook, who shoots 28%. So for you to even think that that's a fact that you were spitting shows why I was invited here again today, because the exposures are always needed. Because these guys got to start talking basketball, not their silly takes. No one cares how you feel about 28% shooting. That's what you brought up here. Your emotional take. I told you, shut up with that. I don't want to hear that. These guys don't want to hear that.
Really,
we all know
I'm not really
Desmond Bane could shoot the basketball.
Like, you just think like you're screaming loud and screaming the same nonsense over and over again. 28% is 28%. We talk about playoff droppers and playoff risers all the time.
What does 28% mean, Ben? What does it mean? What does that mean?
It means that, first of all, he's not a big player. Okay, number one, he's not a big player. So I want to be clear about something.
A big player or a big time player?
No.
What does 28% means you're not a big player?
When you stop, man.
No,
I asked you what 28% means.
Lord help me.
Keep going.
The fact, the reason that he dropped in the draft initially, right, coming out of TCU, the reason that he dropped was because of those. He was a little bit undersized for a 2-guard. Number one, he had that limited wingspan, which affects like where your release is at, right?
What does that have to do with the 28% you mentioned? You don't come with your scouting reports. You're not a scout. Stop this. This is what I'm saying, Ron. Let's move on, please, brother, please.
Well, how do you know I'm not a scout?
Because you're not.
Can we get back focused? So Penn, yes, he was.
Oh, nice.
Hold up, right quick, chill. Swiper's had his hand up, and I'm tired of looking at that beige hand. So can you let us know what it is you would like to talk about?
Camera off. You're right. Go ahead. Camera off.
Most people don't have melanin, and they don't have melanin in the other side of their hand.
My bad.
But Penn, would it move you at all if I said that this last playoffs that he shot a higher volume of his 3-pointers from 4 to 6 feet open to 6 foot or more open. And he shot 18% on shots that he had more than 6 feet of distance, 29% on shots that he had more between 4 to 6 feet of distance on those shots. And then in the previous year, if I said they were like similar, or the previous playoff rather, they were like similar numbers in the playoffs. Well, and then he shot from 6 feet in 2022 to 2023 playoffs. He shot 23% on those, and then 4 to 6 feet of open on 3-pointers. He shot 47%. Do you think sometimes that it might just be simply shot variance, that you're missing a lot open shots like over the course of one playoff run or the other?
Shooting variance is for sure a thing. That's why I asked, does it move you? And I think that that's a worthwhile thing to notice. Like, there are players historically that we've seen that drop in the playoffs, and there are players that we consistently rise in the playoffs. Anthony Edwards holds a lot of value among NBA fans because he consistently gets better in the playoffs, right? We're not lying about that, right? Pascal Siakam, early in his career, was doing really well. And then we had the bubble year, and, people started to wonder, is this guy a playoff dropper? Is he a playoff choker? We have this conversation all the time. So I don't understand. Like, I didn't say anything about Desmond Bane other than just list out, the fact that he shot 28% across 2 years. And that's all I said. I don't think it needs to become some huge thing. I'm certainly not arguing that Desmond Bane's not a great player. I am, however, arguing that when the defense is key in on him, he might be a slightly different player. And like when you get length on you, you do get exposed a little bit, right? Like those I think we can all agree your openings and your tendencies are way more scouted in the playoffs, especially when you go up against a team like OKC. Sure. So what did I say about 2 weeks ago? I said this OKC team is like the 3 a.m. lights. They show you who you are. Now, I agree that four games is a very small sample size. Ja got hurt, all that stuff. Nobody really played that well for Memphis other than Scottie Pippen Jr. But I'm saying, if you're gonna shoot, what was it, 21, 22% from 3 and 31% from the field against the OKC Thunder, and that's your most recent season, which is the greatest reflection of who you are today. Because Lord help me, I'm not looking at year 2021, 2022 to tell me who you as a basketball player are today. I'm looking at what you've done over the last 2-3 years. That matters a lot. I certainly hope that Memphis did not look at KCP's shooting splits from 2017 and be like, that's who he is today. No, they looked at the last year. That's what matters the most. In the last 2 years, he hasn't been great in the playoffs. I think that's a fair statement.
But Pin, you could put this all into perspective as well. Now, obviously, they played against OKC. The year before, he shot 32%. Okay, cool. But you said that he got exposed. Surely he wasn't the only one that got exposed, right? So I'm saying, so basically the point that I'm making is,
I thought I was going to address somebody.
Well, I'm not going to lie though. I'm with.
Basically, all I'm saying is, when we give up 5 picks for you, I got to hone in.
The question that I'm asking you is, do we have to put that out on everybody? Now, do we feel less about Ja Morant?
I bet you won't do that for his GOAT. I bet you won't do that for his GOAT. I bet you won't do it for his GOAT. I guarantee it.
Who's my GOAT?
Jordan.
For Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was an amazing playoff player.
Yeah, he choked in the playoffs when defenses got tight on him.
But he definitely had to struggle in the playoffs. But I agree though. Like when you put length on people, sometimes Ox, it does expose you. You think
Joe Dumars got no length.
Then you see length, and then
I just want to make sure that I'm following. I just want to make sure that Penn is represented.
He got emotional. You heard that? You see
Michael Jordan is a playoff dropper.
No.
I didn't say that.
He got
Desmond Bane is not a playoff dropper. Desmond, are you telling us Desmond Bane is a playoff dropper? Is that what you're saying?
Over the last,
according to Mars, technically.
Okay, I'm telling you. And there's a 2-3 year sample. Michael Jordan was a playoff dropper, but you don't want to go there. But let's continue.
Penn, what I'm asking you is with these five draft picks, right? Okay, so one of them is Phoenix's draft pick. Is that correct? Which one is Phoenix's draft pick? Is it the 27
next year?
One?
It's a swap. It's a 2026 swap, man.
So
in
the 26th draft, they're going to swap picks with Phoenix. So if Phoenix ends up with the 7th pick.
So it's their pick is they will get the second least favorable of the picks between their pick, Phoenix's pick, and Washington's pick. Okay. So we're all pretty much assuming that Washington's going to be the worst team there.
Right.
And I'm just saying, if Phoenix ends up being a play-in team that moves to the 4, if Washington wins the draft, well, guess what? Memphis just got the 4th pick. So it's the second least favorable.
So then in 28, which is in year 3, they get Orlando's 1.
Unprotected. no matter what happens with it. If they finish the play-in, they win the first overall pick, they get that pick.
They get Orlando's one. And then in 29, it's unprotected also.
Swap. It's an unprotected swap. So the more favorable of those two picks. So they'll have a right.
Now, Orlando, the way that they build in their unit, back to Ox's point, Orlando building their unit, they're building their unit to win right now. They're not the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. They're not, I don't know, the Bulls in the 90s where, this crew going to be around for a long time. So we better get used to seeing them. Or maybe they will, right? So in 3 years, because just like with this New York Knicks team, 3 years ago, they went from a top 5 seed to the 4th seed to the 3rd seed. So this Orlando team, who goes from being the 7th seed, having some injuries, decimate their crew. So in 3 years, if they can stay healthy and they're a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, and that pick, once again, if you're the 3 seed, like the New York Knicks are, they have the 5th best record in the league, which means that I'm looking at between the 26th and the 30th pick. I'm willing to do that if that means that I got an opportunity to get to the NBA championship. I'm 100% willing to do that.
Chill. It's so rare to win it, to be able to have a chance to win a championship.
I'm willing to do that.
A lot of most seasons, I'm not talking about every year, but most seasons, it's like 6 teams that really have action. Then you got another 3 teams. It's like, okay, maybe we can make a run, and another sleeper team. Everybody else knows like we have no chance. So when you see a slimmer of hope, a little bit of opportunity, I believe you should go for it.
I just wanted to make sure I was following you, Ken, on the draft picks. So
I think when you make a move like this, you just have to be right. You have to be right. Because if you're wrong, the consequences of this are bad.
That's why we're doing it.
So you got to be right that Jalen Suggs is going to be relatively healthy. You got to be right that Paolo is going to be a top 15 player.
If you're not first, you're last.
All right, W. Ricky Bobby.
Now that's right. Now, Penn, to that point, what you just said, you got to be right. I don't think there's anybody up here that doesn't think that at some point Paolo Banchero is going to be a top 15 player in the game. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't think that. Right. And Mars, don't make your face like that. 3 years from now, are we really not, barring health?
He might step into that next year. Chill.
This is what I'm saying.
That's how
good Paolo is. I'm not even saying 5 or 6 years. I'm just talking about
got action like that too.
We're in the 24-25 season, going into the 27-28 season. Mars, barring health, can you tell me that you don't think Paolo Banchero is going to be in the conversation being a top 15 player?
I don't know. That's why I made that face. I don't know. He might be. I wouldn't.
But that's
guarantee
the idea.
it.
What Penn said.
Yeah, that's what they're banking on. Yeah, that's what they're banking on.
We betting on him. Same thing with France. To Ox's point, France. We betting on him being better than what everybody else thinks. We're betting on him being that. In addition to that, with Bane, with Suggs, if we can hold on to this crew for as long as we can possibly hold on to them and get as close as we possibly can get and have some luck on our side. Because let's be clear, being good ain't good enough. We need some things to go our way. We 100% need some things to go our way. Like Jason Tatum tearing up his Achilles. Like both Evan Mobley and Darius Garland being out of the lineup. That's stuff that goes our way. We need some stuff to go our way. 100% I'm thinking about Orlando, and I'm thinking within the next 3 years, we can win this thing. I ain't thinking about no goddamn draft pick in 2029.
And that's the point I'm making, Chill. And the more beautiful thing about this, I'm about to put this on the screen so you can see their projected starting 5. The beautiful thing about this starting 5 is Desmond Bane at 26 is the oldest. Then you got Wendell Carter, 25. Paolo, 22. Franz and Jalen Suggs, both 23. And then also, don't forget, you also got some young pups on the bench too. Anthony Black, he's 21. Mm-hmm. Tristan Da Silva, he's how old is he? 23. You got Goga, he's 25. Mo Wagner, 27. Jonathan Isaac Steele, 27. Mm-hmm. Caleb Houston, 22. Jet Howard, 21. This is a young ass team. So chill. Not only do they have an opportunity to win it this year, just like OKC, just like the Rockets, just like all these other young teams, the Spurs, you will have year after year after year if you keep this nucleus together. But even if you break it up, you'll still have an iteration of these young guys that you can keep potentially winning championships with. To me, that's the most beautiful part about trading for Bane. It's not about just this year. You have the opportunity over the next 5 to 8 years to continuously make deep postseason runs with this same core nucleus. To me, that's the most beautiful part about it. Not some imaginary draft picks. You got Desmond Bane with these guys. And what did they just do? What did they just show you? against the Celtics, how did they look?
They look good.
How much more than what they pay for Desmond would they have to pay for someone like Devin Booker? Curious.
A lot more.
Well,
5-1s.
I mean, Book probably would have went for the same price in terms of 5-1s. In terms of the draft,
you probably would have had to add like Anthony Black.
You would have to give up Anthony Black.
More money.
That's not getting you Devin Booker.
Yeah, exactly. You're not getting Devin Booker from KCP.
The Suns are absolutely not trading you Anthony Black, KFC, and Cole Anthony for Devin Booker.
They
and 5 first-round picks.
Take those 100% with those picks back.
That's not happening. You're gonna have. They're gonna if you ask for Devin Booker and you're Orlando. I'm talking about specifically Orlando. If you ask for Devin Booker, you have to send Franz.
You have to.
Okay, so in terms of players,
no, absolutely not.
Okay.
Jalen Suggs, Jalen Suggs, yeah.
Swipe, but what I'm saying is that
Jalen Suggs don't get that deal done.
No,
they're not trading Franz for Devin Booker.
No one's telling them to. He's saying that's what Phoenix are asking.
This deal.
Good.
That's what I'm saying. So, that's what I'm saying. We don't got to be so aggressive about it because the fact of the matter is the Devin Booker deal just doesn't happen because I don't believe Orlando's going to give them Franz, and I don't think Phoenix is going to take Jalen Suggs. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think this isn't for us.
Well, one of those picks is Phoenix's pick.
Let's not force this marriage.
Ox, one of those picks is Phoenix's pick. Next year, right? That's Phoenix's pick. So Phoenix, if they trade Devin Booker, the reason that they don't want to trade Devin Booker, from what I'm hearing, is because they don't have their picks. Their picks belong to Houston, basically.
So they get one of them back.
They would get the most immediate one back, and they could actually tank. So
okay, well, look, I don't know what they're gonna do. I just don't think that when you ask whoever asked the question about how much more you have to spend to get Desmond Bane, I think it's significant enough to where Orlando just doesn't make the deal. I'm just answering that question. That's it. I don't want to get all involved in the other shit with y'all.
I want to bring this up because I've been seeing this swirling around too. I've seen it a bunch. A lot of people were saying, okay, the Orlando Magic gave up 4 picks to get Desmond Bane. In the Mavericks only gave up, or the Lakers only gave up 1 pick to get Luka. And this is why I'm saying that this is like the goofiest take ever. Because Anthony Davis was in that trade.
You got a top 10 player in the trade.
Well, you got to ignore the internet sometimes, right?
And Max Christie.
And Max Christie too.
I'm saying, like,
Max Christie might be worth 2.
Do you guys believe that the Orlando Magic could have gave up the package that they just gave up and got Anthony Davis?
They could have. It depends. Depends on what the GM wants.
But do I think Orlando Magic?
Nico Harrison. It would have been completely up to him. We have no like to that point.
Orlando. I'm talking about to LA.
No.
KCP
and Cole Anthony and 4 picks. No, that's not getting you Anthony Davis.
No, it's not.
Hell no. You adding Jalen.
It depends on what they want.
The contract's got to match. Again, the contract's got to match. What is KCP?
It just depends on what they want.
Let's just say the contracts match.
35 mil.
Jay, let's just say the contracts match. I'm just saying value for value.
It's for the year, right? Anthony Davis makes like what, 40 million? Correct?
Anthony Davis is on a contract. He's on the book for $69 million in 2 years.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So you have to that's why you have to trade for the same amount. That's why you have to put it in. That's what I'm saying. That's why you get a Luka and an Anthony Davis. You can't get Luka without the Anthony Davis.
No, Jay, I understand that. I'm just saying value for value. Would this be enough to get Anthony Davis?
No.
So it's just troubling me that people are even comparing the Lakers getting or the Mavericks getting 1 pick versus the Grizzlies getting 4 picks.
There's a reason why we have a cap on draft picks.
So it's wrong to say Desmond Bane went for 5 picks. He technically went for 3 picks, in my opinion. The 4th pick was to get off of KCP's contract. The swap was to get off of Cole Anthony's
not your opinion. What did they get in the draft? In the trade, what did they get?
They got 4 picks plus a swap. But I'm saying because like it's very much like certain players have negative value. I think KCP 2 years, $44 million has negative value. There's no team in the league that was trading for him right now. I think he was overpaid when they signed it. I think they knew that, right? So you have to actually pay money to get off of bad contracts. I've seen the Raptors do this many times. They paid money to get off of Banchero. They paid money to get off of Kem Birch, who was only $6 million. $22 million is a really big contract for a player that, frankly, isn't producing starter level value right now. So I would view it as they paid 3 first round. 3 of those picks were Desmond Bane. one of those picks was to get off of KCP, and the pick swap was to get off of Cole Anthony's money to make the deal work. That's how I see it.
Yep. And Ron, I got that wrong. Anthony Davis is $62 million, not $69 million. I apologize.
All right, they're not getting that for Anthony for that. No.
We have been talking about this trade for a while. I want to change gears to another trade that we know is inevitable, and it's coming. The Kevin Durant trade. Now, over the weekend, there were some things that happened. First off, KD told us his 3 preferred destinations he would like to go to. That is the Miami Heat, the Houston Rockets, and the San Antonio Spurs. Mm-hmm. So for a brief moment, everybody was like, okay, he's going to one of these 3 destinations. Until the Phoenix Suns then said, we respect where you want to go, and we don't have no problem trading you there. But, however, we are trying to get the best package back that we can get for you because, well, quite frankly, we gave up a huge haul to get you here, Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. So the Phoenix Suns are not limiting themselves to those 3 teams. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
Ron, when you like trading, for example, like Ron, when you sell something, you want to at least get back what you gave up for it, right? And with Kevin Durant, we do need our draft picks back more than anything. All right, we probably not going to get the level of player that we gave up when we giving up Kevin Durant. We're probably not going to get the level of player, but we do need our draft picks back. Who has draft picks that we can deal with? I mean, I can appreciate you wanting to go play in Miami. I can appreciate you wanting to go play in San Antonio. I can appreciate you wanting to go play for these teams. But we are going to be bad for a while. So with us being bad, we have to build our unit because nobody's coming to Phoenix in terms of signing and free agency. Nobody is. So who has draft picks, right? Who has draft picks where we can get those and we can be viable again? Well, I hate to say this, but Houston does. Houston's got a bunch of draft picks. In fact, they have our draft picks. So I'm wondering, if we call up Houston, can we get our picks back? Because again, all of these other teams are in the catbird seat. We're not. We're dealing with an older KD who's in a contract year, who's basically a rental. So it's not like we're going to get a haul back, right? So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do everything that we can to get as many draft picks back as opposed to trying to win. Because there isn't anything that we're going to get back for KD that's going to make us immediate contenders. We ain't getting Giannis. We ain't getting Joker. We ain't getting Jason Tatum. We're not getting anything like that. So we got to figure out who in the league, even if it involves 3 teams, we got to figure out who in the league is going to get us our draft picks back.
What if you could get roster balance back? So let's hypothetically say you can get RJ Barrett and Jakob Poeltl. You address the starting center. You can move Nick Richards to the bench. You get a co-star / maybe a guy that fits next to Devin Booker, who's a little bit closer to his timeline. You get maybe a couple of draft assets out of that as well, maybe a young player like a Grady Dick, and you replenish the coffers. I don't think that, a lot of people said yesterday, well, if this is what this is what Desmond Bane went for, what's KD going to go for? I don't think that that's accurate. Number one, KD is not 26. No. And number two, KD's not signed up for 4 years. So if you trade Kevin Durant to a place where he has not pre-authorized as a place he wants to go, they're trading for a rental because he has all the power to move a year from now.
Well, Mark Stein, by the way, already came out and, just to be clear, like kind of debunked a lot of this stuff about like what the trade package. He's already said they're well aware that they have no leverage when it comes to this KD deal. They don't believe they're getting anything that's going to look like the trade they offered for KD to get him from the Nets. They realize that there's going to be limitations on the ass back. There was some reporting confirmed, not as much confirmed, but the Spurs, their last deal offer was Devin Vassell and Harrison Barnes and the 14th pick, and maybe one more asset.
Man, them boys better take that pick and stop complaining.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's a good ass trade.
But the Suns are saying that they initially don't think that is worth moving Kevin Durant for. But I'm saying that might be where the market is.
That's a good deal right now.
He will not come back.
What is this? What is this swipe? You said Devin Vassell,
Harrison Barnes, and the 2025 first. I think it's the 14th overall.
14th overall.
Oh, that 14th. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get a lottery pick and 2 starters?
Yeah, 1 pick.
Come on, man.
It's barely a lottery pick.
Harrison Barnes.
It depends on how.
It depends on how. You the one who just said, time out. Pitt was just the one that said, "Oh, the number 16 pick, which is going to be a very good player in this draft."
Exactly.
Come on, Pitt.
So the 14 pick, the 16 pick is what?
Pitt got cooked by his own logic. That's crazy.
The 16 pick. Think about that for a second.
Boys better do that damn trade.
The 16 pick. That's Bam. That's
Giannis. You think Devin? So you're saying you
something
take
like that?
Devin Vassell and
Devin Vassell will be the second best player on that team.
Yes.
What does that say about your team?
No Miami. That's what I'm going to say. Don't come down here. We don't want you down here. We ain't need you. We asked for you 8 years ago. You didn't show up. Nah, we asked for him 8 years ago. We tried to get him when he went to the Golden State. Then we tried to get him again before he went to Brooklyn. And he's told no. Now you ain't coming down here with your nappy headed self. Stay wherever you at. Don't come down here. Go find some lotion somewhere else. Don't come here. Stay away from us. Stay away from us.
Now you want to get down with us.
Are y'all surprised to hear that the market's been is set at like that kind of bar for Kevin Durant right now?
It doesn't matter. The money got to match. You got to send the money over. That's what I was going to say. You got to send the money over.
What gets the deal
it doesn't have to match. Like again, I want to make sure we're going through this. Okay. The second apron, yes. First apron, no, but there are penalties. Underneath that, it does not have to match at all. So, like, if you're a team that's above the second apron, yes, the money needs to match. The issue for Kevin, I think, is more so about his age, the injury history, and what you're giving to get a 37-year-old on your roster.
Which, by the way,
okay, so let me ask you this: if you're under the apron, hold on, I want to get this right because I want to see what teams are available. Because from my understanding, I thought money had to match some way close enough. So if you're under the apron, who can trade for Kevin Durant without giving up a bunch of players?
If you're under the apron,
yes,
under the second apron.
Well, you have to look at the apron bracket, like to see who's all in what.
But that would make sense because that's the point. Because the reality of the fact is that if you don't have to give up close to the 50 million he's making, 60 million he's making, and you can give up like you guys say some good draft picks and some young guys, but the money's like 30 million to 60 million, then yeah, I think a team would take the risk for that because you don't have to give up your stars. If you're saying that's what San Antonio can do, right? They can keep Fox, they can keep Wemby and all that stuff, and then bring in a Kevin Durant without having to give up the, you know what I'm saying, the salary load.
Match money.
That's what I thought. That's what I always thought.
So there are only 3 teams for next year projected in the second apron as of right now. Phoenix is $11 million in, Cleveland is $12 million in, and Boston is $19 million in as of right now to the until they start offloading contracts.
Sure.
First apron. You have Denver. It's a first apron team by 1.2. By the way, this is all going into next year. So
just name teams that could trade for Kevin Durant.
Yeah, without the deals.
Yeah.
Ones
that could trade for Kevin Durant.
The Houston,
Brooklyn can trade for him without giving anything up. Basically,
which team you say now? What team?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. I'm saying he doesn't want to go to. He doesn't want to go to Brooklyn. He doesn't want to go to Brooklyn.
I know that. Detroit can trade for him. Detroit is significantly under the luxury tax line. Memphis right now.
And they wouldn't have to give up no Duran, no what's his name? Jaden Ivey, Caden Cunningham. Yeah, no, Tobias Harris, that's fine. Anybody, because he got a lower contract. But I'm talking about the stud players, the guys.
I do understand that these teams know that, and Phoenix knows that these teams are in the cap seat. But if you think I'm handing over KD for a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack,
you don't think Devin Vassell and Harrison Barnes are a bucket of extra crispy?
I don't think that. No, I don't think
why. I've never heard any of y'all here behind Devin Vassell but me. Which one of y'all like Devin Vassell like that? I thought he was going to be an all-star.
You're not the only person up here that thinks Devin Vassell's a good
basketball player. I'm with it. I'm glad. I thought he could be all-star one day, but I know people don't really love his game. Whatever. Look at DeMar's face. That's what I'm saying.
And also, let's not forget to mention too that KD comes off the books after next season, which means he's eligible for a 2-year deal at 122 million. That's 60 million for a 37-year-old. $60 million.
Yeah, we talking about Kevin Durant like he's not an all-time great who has a game that is absolutely aging like fine wine.
Yes, he
is. He's not 100%. A player that's about to. He's not an undersized guard.
We're not going to act like he also doesn't have an injury history too. Like an injury history at 38. Like it's a fly ass ride, but you pushing damn near 200,000 miles,
and it's going to break down. And it's going to be ridiculous to repair it, Ron. What the donor is going to take.
Swiper, I need you on as a special guest, man. I need to have a whole show dedicated to all this contract talk and all this stuff. You seem to have good information.
You know who you really love about this? That actually you would have a real fun conversation about contracts and all that kind of stuff is Penn. Penn actually Sneakily, he's very good at this. It's just you and him are going back and forth about some babble right now. But I would also do it.
I actually reached out to you, Swipe. I really wanted you to come on. You didn't answer my. I
don't remember this. We're on Instagram
on
or
Twitter. No, it's on Twitter.
Oh, I'm a horrible respondent on Twitter.
I only follow you on Twitter. I only follow him on Twitter.
You
goody two shoes?
Yeah, no, I only follow him on Twitter.
No, not at all.
I didn't know.
A lot of my Twitter stuff is like racist rage bait.
No, I am not interested.
You know,
I'm not
you get what you attract
on my
show at all.
So no.
I attract racism. Well, maybe I think there's some inherent qualities that probably do that, but for sure. But I will go to your the messages and then I will respond to you. I did not know that. I apologize.
No, sorry, brother. I know it's all business. Like I would tell you, this is business. It's nothing personal. Appreciate it.
This is KD.
I do find it interesting that despite that, you still didn't agree to go on his show. And I salute you for that.
No, I'm gonna
no. I don't contact
him. He gonna speak.
I will go on anyone's show if they're respectful and all that stuff. But no, hold on.
I just want to know because I'll reach out to him if I got to reach out to Penn to get Swipe on my show, I'll do that. But if he's not, he need to just leave it alone.
Ron, didn't I just throw Penn a lie by saying he's really good at something? And I think this is like that's literally his forte.
You think putting me on GOAT James
and wasting my damn time?
You wasting my damn time.
I know.
All right, Shaw.
We about to never want to show up, and you'll be another one who will never show up. Like I said, I won't get an invite, and you won't never show up.
Threw it into the third row.
All right, Shaw. We about to move on because I do. Well, hold on. Is there anything else that anybody wants to talk about with KD?
Kevin Durant has played 18,000 less minutes in his career than LeBron James. So if you want to talk about 18,000.
And don't how many more significant injuries does he have than LeBron?
He missed an entire season. Don't leave that part out.
Facts. But I'm saying this is a guy who takes care of his body, and it's very important. He is an all-time great.
Yes.
And if you're gonna say he has 200,000 miles on his body, then you agreeing that a guy that a lot of us thought was a second-team All-NBA guy this year, granted a genetic freak in a lot of ways, has 300,000 miles.
Well, Penn, don't leave out that he did miss a season and he did miss a half a season.
Well, that's how you get to the low mileage.
Right. But
what would you trade for him? What do you think is like the correct trade value for KD?
Well, so here's the thing. I've been vying for the Raptors to make this trade for weeks.
Why would he go
now.
to the Raptors?
Okay, first of all, Mr. Swiper, I drop you as a client right now. Kevin Durant is on record saying,
I'm gonna hit you after this, Swiper.
On record saying that he grew up wanting to play for the Raptors.
He loved Vince Carter. That's his man.
Okay.
He loved him.
He was in Toronto for Canada Day, hanging out with Drake last year.
When is Canada Day?
Mm-hmm.
July 1st.
So it's my birthday month. Shout out Canada, man.
Nice. Yes, Canada was.
I'm Nigerian, and my birthday's in the middle of Canada month, bro. I mean, honestly, those are two of the three favorite things you should love about a human being.
And you love cinema, but too bad you just be hating on. You just be hating on three all the time.
Did he say you love Cinnabon?
Cinema.
I do love Cinnabon. So real spit.
Kind of look like a Cinnabon for real right now.
Hey, that's funny. Hey, wait, hold on. Hey, Ox, you see the hat he wearing again?
Proceed, Penn. Proceed, Penn.
It's like shade, like tree shade inside your house.
So what I was saying was the Phoenix Suns need a center. The Phoenix Suns need a center. I think Jakob Poeltl is a pretty good one. And I would say RJ Barrett, 2026 first round pick. And, Ochai Agbaji, who shot 42% from three and is a good connective type of player. I think that deal is a little rich, but I think it beats the shit out of Devin Vassell in 14 and Harrison Barnes.
Who from the Raptors?
RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl.
That's good.
Ochai Agbaji.
Yeah, that's good.
2026 first round pick. So I like that deal because a lot of people say BI and KD are very similar. I don't think they're that similar at all. But if they are similar, damn, what a great problem to have two of those guys. And
so what would your start lineup be?
Emmanuel Quickley, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Kevin Durant, and somebody.
That would be the
And if you keep the ninth overall pick and you end up drafting Kaman Malawach there, then Kaman Malawach. It's a pretty competitive thing, and I just think Kevin Durant, like he just, I feel like he is not in the right system for him. And the last time I saw him in a system that really, was tailored to him, it was Golden State. That's the right system for him. So to me, KD and BI are like a similar case of two players that I really like a lot. I love these two players. I've always loved BI and KD, and I've just always felt that they consistently found themselves in bad systems that maybe exploited them, systems that maybe didn't utilize them properly. a system like Toronto, which generates some of the best shot quality in the NBA, but doesn't really have a lot of shooting talent and shot finishing, to put two really talented players like that next to Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickly, holy. And then you keep Grady Dick and you got Jacoby Walter coming off the bench. I just think it would be a very, very competitive team in the
y'all keep Grady Dick and don't give up the 9.
Yeah, because we're giving up 2020. We're giving up 2026, and we're giving up Ochai, and we're giving up Jakob, and we're giving up RJ for a 1-year Kevin Durant who's 37 years old. Yeah, I think that's a fair deal.
I don't think it's too bad.
That'd be a top 6 team in the East next year. So they should definitely do that.
Yo, Mars.
Once you get to the playoffs, who knows?
Before we move on, is there anywhere in particular right now, maybe your mind's changed, that you would like KD to go to?
Houston.
Ime Udoka really wants him.
Because they get their picks back. Phoenix gets their picks back.
They ain't getting them picks back, Chill.
Yeah, I was about to say, do they?
You're not getting your picks back.
They get one.
I'll take that. Yeah. At Mars, I've actually recognized where KD is in his career, where he is in his age. If this was 3 or 4 years ago, I would ask for more than one of those picks. And I think that I would get, I think I could get 3-4 years ago, I could probably get 2 or 3 of them. But today, I'll be lucky to get one of them back. I bet I'll take one of them back. Yes.
Mars, who you think they would have to give up though? Who you think Houston would have to give up to get Kevin Durant?
Dylan Brooks, Steven Adams.
Oh, okay.
Jabari.
Wait a minute. You would give up Steven Adams? Do you think?
I think he'd probably have to.
Right, because
or you just combine Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green, but I don't know if Phoenix want that.
Mars, give me one of them kids too.
You gave up on Jalen Green.
Jalen Green's a kid.
Yeah, that's what it would have to be. It would either have to be Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green plus a pick, or you go Dylan, Steven Adams, one or maybe 2 of the young guys, Jabari and Cam Whitmore or something.
Yeah, give me that kid Whitmore, Mars.
How do you like?
You rather have Whitmore over Jalen Green? Chill.
For who?
You get Tari Eason. You get Tari Eason.
If I'm Houston, I'm not trying to give up Tari Eason. I don't know. I don't do these hypothetical trades. I don't know how to make the money match and all of that. That's for the GMs to decide.
Forget that, Mars.
There'll be a pick involved. There'll be a young player, and Dylan Brooks will be gone. Let's
talk basketball.
Mars, what I discovered, Mars, just yesterday was the ESPN little trade thing that you could do.
Trade machine.
Yeah, that's cool. I was on there playing.
Oh, you just discovered that exists. Oh, okay.
You were trying to figure out who the Kings gonna get next.
I'm telling you, we can get Brandon Clark and Triple J.
But Mars, what do you think though? If they do trade Jalen Green over there to Phoenix, you think he could work with Devin Booker in them, or they would have to get rid of
report is that Phoenix would just move Jalen Green to a different team.
They wouldn't keep him.
Yeah,
it might just be a 3-team trade.
I think you and I are kind of
Devin Booker
fans, right? In the social media world, I think you and I.
Devin Booker be fun watch.
It's a complicated relationship, but yeah, they Devin Booker and Bradley Beal are gonna be there, and that's two guards away.
Trade teams are wild, bro. People be trying to say Jared Vanderbilt.
That's not bad for Phoenix.
You be trying to hold on, Pen.
That wouldn't be bad for Phoenix.
You be trying to say Giannis to the Raptors, but Scotty Barnes is off the table. So you just as crazy.
Yeah, because I'm irrationally high on Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, irrationally high. I'm glad you know that.
Just
like Vince Carter has not had one of the 25 best seasons of all time. I know you will overrate your Raptors. Shout out to you, bro.
Okay, so which take is it? Do I overrate Raptors? Do I hate Raptors? Because I hear
you hate Chris Paul.
So
you hate Raptors power forwards. That's
it's just like this is the thing. So here's the thing.
If they're overrated in their air for you, you hate them. Yes.
No. See, the thing is, people are always in a rush to label people, right? So if I say something good about Scotty Barnes, people would be like, "Oh, he just loves all the Raptors." But if I say something negative about RJ Barrett, people will be like, "Oh, he just hates the Raptors." If I say something positive about Shea, people say, "Oh, he loves Canadians." But if I say something negative about Nemhard, they'd be like, "Why he's hating on Canadians?"
You gave people labels today on the show.
I recall one, yes.
So
you hate I'll tell you what, Swiper, you show up on that show, I'll give you your kudos.
What show? Pen, you ain't invited me your show. How about that? I know more Raptors than you do. Now what?
You what?
Can we get back to the fact that Kate
Shout out to John D. John D was just on Penn Show. Shout out to
John D. John D and I broke down this Desmond Bane trade, and we talked about the entire draft board yesterday. It was very, very dope.
Shout out to it. Up here, we got the exposer, we got the overrater, and we got the good old glazer. But chill. What were you getting at? What did you want to talk about?
with Mars, I tell you to Mars, give me the kids all the time. I'll take that kid Whitmore off your hands. I will. Yes, if I'm Phoenix, I'll take that kid Whitmore off your hands. I'm good with
over Jalen Green.
Stop with the Jalen Green.
Houston is not Bradley coming. Beal, what are you trying to do?
Houston is not coming off Jalen Green.
Why wouldn't they?
Raphael Stone seems to be hell bent on Jalen Green.
He loves him
for better or worse.
Yes,
he seems to be.
They're not coming off of him. So
it also just makes more sense for Phoenix. Cameron was making $3 million. Jalen Green's going to be making 33.
He's like, the day this guy becomes better than Evan Mobley, I want him to be on my team so that I can let the whole world know I was right. Okay.
I wouldn't expect Jalen Green to get traded, but maybe.
So the kid Whitmore, the kid Whitmore, I'll take him off your hands. I'll take Brooks off your hands. Mars, can I have another one of those ones?
Not yours. If we have another one available.
Okay, that's fine.
These are not yours. I'm not giving you yours.
Man. I don't know what pick. I don't know what.
He's already okay. Because I need you to understand, Jay. Because I'm not in the catbird seat here. I emptied the bank.
No, but Mars is right. I want your pick. You're gonna be
right.
like a top 5.
I already gave him mine, so he's gonna give me one of mine back. Okay, I'm asking for 2 of them back. Okay, he ain't giving me 2 of mine back. He'll give me one of mine back, but he'll give me another one. Can I have another one, Mars?
How far they can go? 6 years, 5 years from now?
Something like that. It depends what first round picks Houston have. If they have ones that aren't valuable, maybe. Like if they have like a, I don't know, like if they somehow had an OKC pick from 2028, then yeah, you could have that. But like any lottery potential pick, or just be a lottery protected pick, maybe. Yeah, you can get that.
I love the fact that these unprotected picks. That's how Magic ended up in Los Angeles. That's how James Worthy ended up in Los Angeles. That's how Len Bias was going to end up in Boston. I love these unprotected picks. I love it.
Shout out to the Lakers in Boston just cheating the NBA for a decade. But yeah.
A decade? They were doing it since the 50s.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Shout out to the Lakers in Boston.
They got Bill Russell for ice capades. Am I correct? Something like that.
The Rockets.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. We got some super chats, so let's go ahead and see what the people have to say. From one of my favorite super chatters on the entire planet, my man Whoopity Scoopity, or my lady Whoopity Scoopity, said, I know offense was ass in the first 3 quarters for us, but I like the idea of saving SGA till the 4th. And also the 2-man game with him and J-Dub. Shout out to SGA for scoring the most clutch points in the finals.
So let's start with saving SGA. You weren't saving SGA. SGA was trying really hard to score. He just couldn't. He just got going in the 4th. Oh, he was trying.
No, it was the minutes. It was the minutes played. Because I do the play-by-play on my channel. And while we were doing that, people were commenting, where's SGA? They were really like conserving him, keeping him off the floor. Not just, that's what they were doing. He had 0 free throws in the first half and had 10 in the second half. So he was way much more aggressive in the second half.
Well, he was more aggressive in the 4th.
Yeah, they intentionally fouled him.
So. You think so?
Well, yeah, I mean,
from the last,
you got Benedict Mathurin shenanigans that gave him 2 free throws.
That was awful.
Then there was 2 extra ones that came when they did intentionally foul. So that's 4 of his 10 free throws.
Half, right? Almost half.
So he really got like 6 free throws during the game.
Didn't Benedict do it to him twice?
Yeah, they were all in but those were all in the second half.
Possession.
Oh, okay.
That's not really being aggressive. That's just Benedict Mathurin being an idiot.
No, I'm just saying, if I'm correct, I believe going into the 4th quarter, he only had like 2 free throws. I know
he only shot 2 free throws.
That sounds
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and he ended up with 10 at the end of the game, going all 10 for 10. But I remember people saying that in the comments, and we were talking with the people on the panel. They were saying, like, why is SJ off the floor so much? Like, where is he at? And they were still in the game. And I think that
he played more, but he was actually on the floor more in spots though. Because he started at different, like the 4th quarter. I think came in like 10 minutes left, 9 minutes left. Typically, he would come in like 7. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think he did that to save him for the 4th quarter.
No, there was no saving. He was not. Well, I don't want to say it. Can I say it? It's gonna sound like I'm hating.
No, you're not hating.
But wait, Swiper, you said
be a man.
No, Swiper, the last game you did say you and
Paolo wasn't playing well.
Bugging out, Jay.
No, the last time he was here, you guys said that he looked tired. He looked exhausted.
Penn said he looked tired.
No, you said that.
The fire alarm.
I think you did. No, I'm not going. I'm just
saying. Up to a point though, he had 20 points on 20 shots. Though. It's not like real quick. Hold on, Penn. It's not like he just wasn't shooting or he was being conservative, he had 20 points on 20 shots. You know what I'm saying?
And not only that, Ox,
he was shooting the ball. You know,
that's why I say it wasn't him being conservative. I was just saying it was the coach by lowering his minutes in the first.
No,
right. But regardless of that, he was
more in the second half.
He still obviously got up a lot of shots. When he had 20 points, he had shot 20 shots.
And 18.
Regardless of how long he was playing, he was still getting active. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he was striking, for sure. Mm-hmm.
And Jay, I think it was that first quarter. I think he played almost 8 minutes in that first quarter. That second quarter, he only sat down for a minute and a half. That was it. He played almost the whole second quarter.
Because like I said, when we was watching the show, people kept saying, and I remember
he played on. It was the first quarter.
We was watching it on playback. We was all watching it together.
The second quarter and on, he didn't come off the floor very much. He did not, and I felt like they did a good job on him early. He got going late. Yes, in the fourth quarter, he got going
last
late.
6 minutes of the game, he played well. First 3 minutes and a half, three
up to that
quarters.
Point, no, he was not doing well.
Is it fair to say that down the stretch of this game in the fourth quarter, that OKC seemed like the slightly better rested team? That maybe Indiana ran out of gas a little bit. Would that be fair to say? Did it look like that a little bit?
No, not fair. It looked like OKC started switching. And then OKC made a conscious effort to try and get Nesmith and the matchups that they wanted. If you want to call that fatigue, then whatever. I mean,
they picked up 94 feet. They had multiple players picking up 94 feet for literally.
I think that was more. I think that was a sense of urgency. But I mean, I wouldn't say Indiana got fatigued. I would say Indiana got bogged down within their offense because OKC made a conscious decision to go away from the double big lineup they started with, which I think was a good decision. I saw the Isaiah Hartenstein that I was concerned about seeing. They started terribly, in my opinion, because Isaiah Hartenstein's mobility. They went back to what they were comfortable with. They switched everything, and Chet Holmgren stayed strong in isolation. Mm-hmm. And Indiana couldn't get into their offense. And then Mark Daigneault made a very smart decision to say, you know what? This Shea on Nembhard stuff isn't working. Let's go hunt a matchup we want. Let's use Shea as a screener. Get Aaron Nesmith on me. Then we can get to an isolation at the nail, wherever Aaron Nesmith is very foul prone. Fouled Aaron Nesmith out in about 3 possessions. That was easy. And then I think that's just coaching. I wouldn't call that fatigue. But if you want to attribute it to fatigue, we can.
Do you think, I think for me, at one point it got to after the first Nesmith bucket with SGA, in my brain, I was just like, okay, no. Like just run the hump. If he wants to take a hand in his face 3 on a Nesmith flyout, then shoot that shot. Because it was Caruso and it was Dub. And Dub had played well the whole game, to be fair. I thought he was the best player on the court most of the night. But at that point, SGA starts getting it going in that mid-range versus Nesmith. No. I'm saying, like, I'm not switching anymore. You're going to have to just make that 3 because at this point, SGA has confidence. He's getting fouled now by Nesmith. Like, I'm just not doing this anymore. I don't want him to get going. And I think for me, that's part of what lost in the game. And to Marge's point, they started switching. They couldn't run pick and roll anymore. All of a sudden, Hallie gets Chet ISO. Remember, Hallie missed 2 layups down the stretch of that game, had a horrific step back 3-pointer that he just absolutely didn't hit anything. It was a block. I just think they tried to go too ISO heavy down the stretch. They went away from their offense, but I think that's a credit to OKC's defense. I think they changed up what they were doing. They couldn't get to the pick and roll anymore. But on the other end, stop conceding Aaron Nesmith on the SGA. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm not prideful, chill. I know Nesmith can't guard him as well as Nembhard. So I'm not even going to try to let it happen. I'm just going to let him go ahead and just get it off. If J Doubles take that 3, that's fine. But I don't believe that's going to beat me more than Shea Mitty. And now he's just working, getting fouled.
He wasn't good in the rack. Up those first.
Aaron Nesmith has fouled out of the last 2 games, right?
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you guys think that he kept Nesmith in a little bit too long in that fourth quarter? You think he could have brought in Mathurin earlier? And because they need Nesmith.
Based on what I've seen from Mathurin, it should have never.
Maybe that's what affected him, though, Mars.
But that's what. Yeah, because they had him on the bench. He wasn't.
You got to close with. You got to close with TJ. You got to close with TJ.
I agree. TJ should.
So you have to close with TJ. These young dudes, and I mean, like Benedict, man, that was just. But chill. If the reason you grabbed somebody's wrist like that in the dead ball, if the reason you did that is because I didn't put you in the game 3 minutes earlier, I don't know what to say. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? You're making bonehead plays and you missed all those.
Now, I'm not doing that in spite of you not putting.
They're doing, yeah. That's what we're saying.
I'm not doing that in spite of you
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying what you weren't ready to play. You weren't mentally locked in. We're in the finals.
No, he wasn't. That's what I'm saying. There is no not mentally locked in. No, he wasn't expecting to come back. He wasn't expecting to come back.
It don't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, that matters. That does matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
Good old stay ready.
It doesn't matter. What are you talking about? Because I didn't. You're saying I didn't know. No. Yes.
Because you're not expecting Nesmith to file out.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you didn't think you were going back in the game. You don't commit loose ball foul.
That was dumb. That part of
dead ball fouls because I didn't know I was going back in the game. You're an NBA player.
You're doing idiotic stuff anyways. That's the whole point.
You don't forget how to play basketball because
you're a professional basketball player. Just because somebody thought, I didn't know I was going back in the game. Maybe I should grab his arm because he beat. Why? Because I didn't know I was going back in the game.
He grabs arms all the time.
You didn't have to say what he did. That's what happened.
Players grab and hold all the time. Sometimes they get called for it. Sometimes they don't. He got calls for it. It was a little bit egregious. I get that. But again, he was put in a moment.
And come down and miss some free throws.
He was put in a moment to not succeed, and that's a bad coaching strategy. You put him in there to not succeed.
You were putting the game in the finals. You need to be a professional.
You only put me because you left somebody else on the floor that fouled out.
You can't put that on Rick Carlisle
to bail out the guy.
You know what you just said? He was put in a position to not succeed.
I wish I could say it. Ox, you're not letting me say it. Ox, I wish
you already said it. You said he was put in a position to not succeed.
Facts.
That's a bad coaching strategy. That's what you said.
Yes. That is a bad strategy.
And you were serious. That's the problem.
So that's the problem. You didn't hear me say why. You heard me say it, but you didn't hear me say why. Again, when you're a player in the game, that's what people were talking about, even with SGA, trying to find your rhythm so that when you're in the fourth quarter and they're asking you to do that, to be that team closer, they have to allow you to be in that position, that rhythm, that warm-up spot so that you can actually do that. And it's the same thing when you're going to shove a kid onto the floor only because you let some other guy on the floor play too long who was making mistakes throughout the game, who you should have been plucked out of the game. And then you would have not had that guy in crucial moments making those mistakes. Maybe you could have had Nesmith there because Nesmith was messing up the whole time. Take Nesmith out, bring in Mathurin earlier in the fourth quarter. Like you said with TJ McConnell, let those guys do that so that when you have your closing 3 minutes, you have Nesmith on the floor with only 4 fouls, not fouling out of the game. And then you just shoved this kid who had his sweats on and wasn't even thinking about coming back in the game.
So basically, we let Benedict come in and do some airhead shit earlier.
I had no choice but to put him in. Naismith fouled. That's the point. He had no choice.
He did have a choice. You play TJ McConnell. You close with TJ.
It's even worse. TJ McConnell. You think TJ McConnell's not going to do something stupid on defense?
Nah.
All right, bro. All right.
TJ been playing good this whole series.
And the limited minutes and in the role he has to play, but don't put him in 3 minutes of a game and think.
Well, that's what
that's what a veteran guard is for. Somebody that can play at the end of the game that's not going to make bonehead.
You cannot have TJ McConnell.
That's why I have a veteran guard like TJ McConnell.
But TJ closed the game previously, and so did Benny.
Isn't going to make airhead mistakes like Benedict Mathurin did. That's what you have.
Benedict Mathurin was why they won game 3. I mean, the game before.
I'm talking about game 4. That's
why I said you bring him in early.
I'm talking about game 4. And when you that was some. I have never. You know what? Chill. I was talking to my brother just the other day, and I'm trying to ask him. I'm trying to figure it out. Matter of fact, Ron, I think I talked to you about it too. I've been talking to this whole past couple of days. I'm trying to figure out. Can you give me an example of somebody that has folded and crumbled that egregiously in the finals? Like I'm trying to figure out how many have you ever seen somebody commit 2 dead ball fouls and miss 4 free throws?
3. He missed
3. 3. Missed 3 free throws. Committed two dead ball fouls where they got to shoot the free throw and get the ball back, so it's compounded.
Tragic.
I'm trying to figure out. When have we seen somebody? When have we seen somebody fold that bad?
In the end, as well, it's not. It wasn't all on Mathurin.
That's fine. That Benedict Mathurin had the worst final minute of a finals game I've ever seen.
I agree. That's
some of the worst I've ever seen.
It's the worst I've ever seen. I'm going back and watching games too. That's the worst I've ever seen. I've never seen someone capitulate like that. It was tragic.
That was terrible. And I refuse. What I refuse to do is blame Rick Carlisle for not putting him in the game earlier. I blame Rick Carlisle for putting him in the game at all.
Well, see,
you know what I'm saying? Should have been TJ McConnell.
it's some truth to what you're saying, and Jay, it's some truth to what you're saying. Benedict Mathurin is 100%. Benedict Mathurin is 100% a rhythm player. You don't just put him in with 3 minutes to go. If you gonna put Benedict Mathurin in, it got to be like how he was doing in Game 3. He got to already be rolling, and you know what you're gonna get from him. But also, too, this is the main reason why I put it on Coach Carlisle. You got to put in TJ McConnell right there. It's no way in hell you do not put in TJ McConnell. After what he's in Game 4, like Jay, I know you saying he's not playing defense. In Game 4, TJ McConnell had 5 steals.
Y'all know who was on the floor for OKC with the last 3 minutes of a ball game, and y'all saying put TJ McConnell?
Who was on the floor? Like who has TJ McConnell not been successful
SGA.
With playing? Okay,
he had already beaten SGA. He had already handled SGA.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about for defensive purposes.
He's a good defender, though.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
But he's not going to be guarding SGA.
PC. Let's move on.
He's not. Yo, Jay, he's not going to be.
Yeah, that probably is for the best. Yeah, we don't need to talk defense.
Yeah, let's go. Let's move. Please.
He's not going to be guarding SGA. He's not going to be guarding J-Dub. He's going to be guarding Lou Dort, Casey Wallace.
If they're hunting Smith and Mathurin, what do you think? They're not going to hunt McConnell at the end of the game?
Yeah, but
I'm like, come on, man.
So what about the other minutes? So
why didn't they hunt him? He's not doing nothing in the last 3 minutes of a ball game. He's going to be a defensive liability. You're going to lose that game for sure.
So why didn't they hunt him Game 3? Why didn't they hunt him Game 2, Game 1?
He's put on the floor at certain times for certain rotations. He's not on the floor with the closing lineup.
He was closing in the fourth quarter of the game before, though.
Okay.
My thing is, it's
some
just
of
like
us are watching these games, bro. Some of us are actually watching these basketball.
TJ would have had to play defense for one possession. Like, I don't
from 3 minutes in, one possession.
No, I'm saying something when Neesmith fouled out. I'm not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he fouled out with 44 seconds left. Like he would have to play defense for one possession. Benedict Mathurin was in the game for 44 seconds and sabotaged his team. TJ McConnell would not have sabotaged his team in 44 seconds. Whether or not you think he would have got hunted on that one defensive possession. Guarantee he wouldn't have fouled before the inbound, given up a free throw and possession. So he still would have done better than Mathurin did.
Okay. Go ahead.
So that's as far as it goes. That's as far as it goes.
Okay. Y'all like TJ that much? Go ahead.
I don't think that's even. I don't think you have to like TJ to say he wouldn't have sabotaged the team.
No, I'm saying if you like him that much. That's what I said. That much.
I don't think it takes any. I think you can hate TJ McConnell and say he wouldn't sabotage. I don't hate
TJ McConnell. I think he's a definitely.
I like TJ. I think I like TJ even more than that much. But that's not the point here. The point here is that I hate everything Benedict Mathurin did in those last 44 seconds.
He killed us.
That's what I'm saying. It's more so about him than it is about TJ.
And it was a 2-possession game, but we still had a chance. But we don't have a chance when you fouling on dead ball inbounds. We don't have a chance when you're missing free throws that's going to keep us in the game. We don't have a chance when you're doing it. You're killing us.
And you know what?
Just yesterday, I believe it was Friday. He only played 44 seconds, as you know, in the fourth. I think it was game 2. Or game 1 or game 2. Game 1, I think he only played 2 minutes in the fourth. The one that he played the most amount of minutes is because he had it going when he got busy in that game.
Game 3.
Yeah, he got busy in that game. He played almost 10 minutes. Almost 9 minutes in that game. So other than that, he hasn't played much in the fourth.
Right, and it's clearly for a reason. But my thing though, Chill, is this: if I'm running with you, and in the first quarter you dropping dimes, I'm talking about you spoon feeding, give me 4 or 5 good looks, good cuts to the rim, and I get a quick 10 points in the first quarter. Chill. That doesn't then give you the right to throw 6 turnovers in the fourth. No, so yeah, Benedict Mathurin had a hell of a game 3, but that doesn't give him the right to come and do what he did in game 4.
Now, wait a minute.
The game does not mean that you can lose this again.
I'm not purposely doing that, though. It's not like I'm doing that on purpose.
And that's even worse. The fact that
I don't think anyone's saying that Benedict Mathurin was an insider for OKC saying, yeah, I'm going to lose this game so that you guys can win. But he still sold the team. Whether he did it on purpose or not, he sold the team.
They need to investigate that. They need to investigate him.
Some Jonte Porter stuff?
Yes. I'm telling you.
Negative 6.5 spread. They lose by 7? Damn.
All right, y'all. I'm going to read a couple more super chats. The next one I got is from DSG Piccolo. DSG said, man, F the Magic for not taking Anthony Simons, off of our hands. But real talk, do the Grizzlies use that Suns pick to try to get KD or not enough assets on their team? Is KD feasible for the Grizzlies?
Gotta try. Why not?
So come off a bang.
Why wouldn't the Trailblazers be in the?
And then still have more assets
in the KD market
or a couple more draft picks?
Because the Trailblazers have the small forward of the future. His name's Denny Avdia. They don't need KD.
Okay.
Mike Kamara, anyone?
That's their front court. Denny, Klingon, and Tamani. That's their front court. They chilling.
They're set.
They don't need KD.
Shaden Sharp. They just need a point guard now. They're set.
They got Demon Scoot. Yeah, they got Demon Scoot.
Yeah, they got Scoot.
And what pick did they have this year? 11?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was so mad when they got the 11th pick. That could turn into some good too. So
you gotta if you Memphis. I mean, you already made a bombshell. You already dropped the bomb by moving off of Desmond Bane. I mean, what would it do? What would it cost you in Memphis to get KD? Because the draft pick is not going to be enough.
I think
just reroute what you just got. Here, bye KCP.
And there's some very interesting players on the market right now. Trey Murphy allegedly could be available. I think he could go for a lot of ones. I think Swiper, you said I think I read your tweet that you think he could be all-star if he ends up in the right place.
Oh, I would like to put this out there. My propaganda, I believe in February about Trey Murphy was that I think he could potentially end up being a top 5 shooting guard in the league. But
Swiper thinks the whole league can be all-stars.
No. I said Devin Vassell. Well, no. I want to be clear about this.
You said Devin Vassell. You said Keontae George.
Let me have all-star. But when I say to Jalen Green, I think he's going to be all-pro one day.
Jalen Green is a worse basketball.
Trey Murphy
is better than Jalen Green. So
he's bigger than him.
No, he's just better. He's a better shooter, better offensive player, better defensive player, better mid-range shooter, better pull-up shooter, better three-point shooter. Just keep going. Better driver to basketball. No. Hold on. Let me just say what I want to say.
Better drive.
My guys around the league, everybody knows this. Scotty Barnes, big my guy, right? And then Penn took him.
You definitely are the Scotty Barnes guy.
I don't have no more real estate. Keontae George, but everybody knows what that's about. Okay.
Yeah, but you said all-star. So that's why
if you do to Scotty Barnes what you did to Nikola Jokic and make it impossible for me to root for him, I'm gonna be real pissed.
I don't care.
No, you still root for Jokic.
Yeah, you still do. Keontae George went to Baylor, and so obviously his comp out of high school, college for me with Jamal Murray. I think he's a really good player. A lot of people are down on him. Another one is Devin Vassell. That's years. This is years.
Swiper. What about Jacoby Walker?
Trey, I never wanted Jacoby Walker, by the way. Trey Murphy.
Baylor's Trays?
I know, but I'm saying, but he's not my guy. Trey Murphy's another one of my guys.
Bad taste.
I would love, like Ox's guy was De'Aaron Fox. And then, that used to be his guy. No longer his guy. He cheated.
You just think a lot of people going to be all-stars.
I said 3 players.
Yeah, but guys.
Notice I didn't say Jalen Green ever.
Sure. Guys who, quite frankly, are playing in the West and also quite far away from being recognized as all-stars in the West.
Murphy? Remember, Trey Murphy had about a 13-game stretch there where he
NBA All-Star going international versus US.
Jalen Green fans wet dream. I don't know what to tell you. You bring up 13-game stretches. Jalen Green gets in them talks.
The NBA All-Star game format, according to Adam Silver, is going towards international versus US. So I got news for you. Devin Vassell, Trey Murphy, no chance.
Why you think Norman
Powell Morris, if Joel Embiid is healthy, what team does he play for?
Oh, in the All-Star game?
Mm-hmm.
International.
Whichever one he thinks has a better chance of winning.
Take his medal.
No, whichever one he thinks has a better chance of winning. You're gonna just choose on the day. You're gonna look at the Team USA roster. You're gonna look at the Team International roster. And then he'll just join whichever team he thinks. Or he'll just play first half Team USA, second half Team International.
I think.
And I just want to put it out there. Scotty Barnes is gonna be international. Jamaica.
Yeah, people
we
know they have no chance to make.
We definitely
they know they have no chance of making the All-Star team or Team USA.
So he's not making the world team either.
I know Torian Prince went to the team.
Y'all are so mean, man.
Yeah.
So the All-Star is going to be determined by your country.
You know these international players don't play defense, so Giannis and Scotty got to hold it down for the international team defense.
Quincy AC went to Baylor.
That's why I meant Thompson. That's why the Thompson twins are looking at.
Yes, they're gonna select people by their nationalities now.
Chill. Keep going up the list. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of really good Baylor players.
What's the kid that was on that Warriors team in 17? No, he went to Oregon. I'm sorry, he didn't go to Baylor. I apologize.
You talking about number 2, right?
Jordan Bell. He's talking about
Oregon. I'm sorry. I thought
the only one that didn't turn out of Baylor in the last 10 years is Jared Butler. But Jared Butler was still a good player. He just, I think, got.
I could just name one player and we could stop this. I mean, Vinny Johnson went to Baylor, so I mean, we good.
I thought you were gonna say Davion.
No, the microwave went to Baylor, so
Davion's a good player. He just had to get into a good situation, but No disrespect, but 7 overall for a 5'10" player.
Are you saying he didn't have a good situation in Sacramento there?
No,
not for what he
played his best. He played his best basketball in Sacramento.
What do you go? What do you go overall?
Didn't Ekpe Udo go to Baylor?
Udo went to Baylor too.
You're looking at me like I to 7th or 9th. One of the odd numbers. Yes, between that age. Goodness gracious, Pence like it's casual. Like I thought you were gonna say like 16th or something.
Mars Michi went to Baylor too, by the way.
Yeah, I know that, but I knew
really
Ekpe Udo was not a good NBA player out there.
He was not. No.
Yeah. What did say his name again, Mars?
Ekpe Udo.
Say it 3 times in a row fast.
Ekpe Udo.
Right.
Ekpe Udo.
Look, this is what I'm saying. I think that do y'all think am I tripping that VJ Edgecombe can be the second best player in this draft 4 years from now?
I mean, I don't think you're tripping to project, but I wouldn't bet on
you are tripping.
For me, Cooper and Dylan Harper are the two, but if VJ ends up being better than Dylan Harper, you got the
Perry Jones, Mad Max.
Oh, Perry Jones, KD 2.0.
That was my dog. Hey, Rod, you remember Perry Jones back in the day?
Yeah. I would for sure thought KD 2.0. And then that's where the KD 2.0 started for me, was with him. And then every year it's KD 2.0, the next KD, until you get to 2025 and you're just realizing it's not going to be another KD.
Yeah, we're yet to see the KD 2.0, but
well,
Chet Holmgren. I don't know. I like Chet Holmgren. He looks around me KD a little bit, just a little bit.
But he's
KD.
not KD.
Young KD, just a young KD, just a young KD.
He's skinny.
He's skinny. That's what I'm saying. The skin being the lengthy guy that can dribble.
That's he's skinny.
Yeah. I think Chet's gonna get along. He stay healthy. I believe he, put a couple.
Wemby probably the closest, to be fair.
No,
it's completely different, but Wemby's
exactly because Wemby's like super tall. Because I know Kevin Durant doesn't say he's 7 foot, but we all know Kevin Durant is 7 foot. So, but yeah, Wemby's like 7'5", right? 7'4", was it 7'4", something like that? So yeah, he
still don't got no KD in his game though. Like none of these dudes are.
No, KD.
Wemby be shooting over people. That's KD-ish.
Yeah, he shoots over him, but that's it, Mars. That's not KD. KD ain't a shoot over you, dude. He giving it to you. It's not the same.
I'm yet to see anyone. I'm yet to see another KD.
When I'm watching Turner, it reminds me when he's trying to triple pass Turner. And I'm like, look at him, he's trying to get to the paint. Look at him.
I know what y'all mean, but there's no Chet, Wemby, none of
MPJ.
This is 2017. Go back and watch that.
MPJ?
See what you thought.
Who?
Watch my line. 2017 Missouri. Watch this one. Washington MPJ. Y'all didn't think that was KD?
You talking about Nathan Hell MPJ?
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about
in the league. Like pre-back surgery, I think MPJ probably was the closest.
6'10", boom, boom, boom. Wow, I said, oh my gosh, Zion who? Talking about Marvin Bagley in that draft
was
class.
different. I remember Imani Bates as well. He was at
MPJ. That was all dope. I think Brandon Ingram probably come the closest, maybe, but I still don't got it with him either. I don't see. There is no KD. You know what I'm saying? There is no KD.
I probably do think high school MPJ is probably the closest, to be fair. But
yeah, I could get with that. But I'm talking like
now you
high
can
school.
Get with that, he said it.
Yeah, he know.
No, I was not.
No, we weren't talking about in high school. We just
that's what
I said in high school pre-back surgery.
Yeah, but when I said no, you just went on. You didn't hear what I was saying.
But when Mars said it pre-back surgery, yeah, he said that.
Now that you inserted that connection, I was like, okay,
I already started it. You weren't listening.
5 years ago, earlier. 5 years ago,
but we weren't talking about that. That's the point.
5 years
ago, but then you added the caveat,
Bates,
so like, okay, based on that.
No, Imani Bates was not in those talks.
No, Imani Bates 5 years ago was ranked higher than Victor Wembanyama in the 2023 draft projections. I'm not kidding.
This is the year right before Victor exploded onto the scene.
But see, that's why
Victor was second.
That's why.
Yeah,
he was on the scene.
But I mean, over that next year, he overtook the spot clearly.
Amani did some questionable things as tanked his stuff.
Yeah. Yes, but not only that though, y'all. This is why in the year 2025, I don't care about any of these 8th graders or freshmen or none of that. Damn, they're not even sophomores. Like, I don't care what the ranking is. You know what I'm saying? I'll watch you play and I'll respect it. But I'm like, when I don't care what you're ranked. You know what I'm saying? When you're 14, it's not gonna matter when you turn 19, 20.
And on top of that, like this is always my biggest thing that I say. I have to see you play in college before I can even fathom what you're gonna be. College is gonna tell me a lot about who you're gonna be. Like playing against high schoolers and playing against a system where we're actually scheming against you. You get to play against dudes that are 3 years older than you, 4 years older than you, guys that are in the weight room. You get to play against elite level athleticism. I can't gauge what you're going to be until you do that. AJ, I can't gauge you. Darren Peterson, I can't gauge you. None of these high school kids, I cannot gauge you until I see you play against a high-level college program.
But even
if Darren Peterson ties his shoes correctly, you send me a reel of him doing that.
I'll be messing with you. But like even then, though, like I don't know what he's going to be until I see him play at Kansas. Then I can start to really gauge his strengths and his weaknesses.
But look, the two people I missed on because of their role in college, though, that ended up Cat. I didn't know he was going to be this because remember, Cat, at the time, he wasn't like getting a lot of volume.
They had him being a rim runner.
Yes. Yeah. And then was Jason Tatum at Duke. Remember, Jason also.
Did you know JT was going to be like that?
No, but JT was good. But I knew he was good. Don't get me wrong. But he wasn't getting more love than Jabari Smith was, is what I'm saying. Like Jabari Smith, when he came out, like the talks he was in was like the mellow talk. But this is what I'm saying about
Jabari?
Like, No. Jabari Parker. My bad. Parker. Yeah, remember Parker.
He didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve Jabari Parker talk.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't belong in Jabari. If you would have asked me coming out, chill, Jabari was going to be like soft, mellow. You know, Tatum was like really good, but I thought Tatum was like definitely more of a prospect. But Tatum obviously like he came in and like it was like, all right, damn, like he's already one of those kind of guys. Like, but it's just I didn't.
Jabari came in as one of those type of guys too.
For those of you guys unaware, Giannis was the insurance. Jabari was the money.
The man.
That's who the guy was.
I mean, you see Jabari before he tore his ACL again in 17.
Yes, he was the money.
Him and Giannis were going crazy.
Giannis was the insurance. Giannis was the extra. Jabari was the guy that they were building the unit around. We know he was made of glass. We didn't know that part, but up until that point, in terms of a baller, he looked like he was going to be the guy that they were building that unit around.
I think
they got lucky in finding out. They got lucky finding out that this Giannis dude is way better than what we thought. So we can move on. And we don't.
And by the way, to his point, Oxen, and please go here. Giannis didn't even know, and people remember the stories about Giannis. That man Giannis was walking and biking every single day.
He was running to the facility because he was late.
And he was sending his whole check back to his folks. Well, at the time, his dad was still around, I believe, his mother and father, and he was sending his whole check back home until he realized, like, boom, boom, boom. Like, it took a year for Giannis to, like, fully get on board what it means to be in the NBA and all that stuff. That might be my favorite, a top 3 favorite development story in the last 15 years.
He got a ride from a fan.
Yeah, that shit cool and all that. Yeah, that's whatever. But hey, Jabari Parker, man, that boy, that of all the past 10 years, that was my pick. Like I bet the house on Jabari. I bet the house on Jabari from high school at Simeon. Jabari Parker, I thought was the next GOAT. Like
he doesn't get talked about enough as a what if.
I be trying to bring Jabari up.
I truly believe, barring ACL injuries, just his explosion. We don't even got to talk about his size. Let's just talk about his explosion and his skill set. Jabari's handles combined with his ability to come and punch on you. And then on top of that, I'm scoring from the mid-range. I can still shoot.
How big is he legit, Ron? Legit.
6'9".
Legit.
So it's not coming through finger rolling over cats. I'm talking about, I'm not going to say Jordan. I'm not going to say Iceman, but I didn't see him put some ice on stuff, chill. I didn't see Jabari come through and
6'10", Ron, taking you up top.
Jabari was so
one
tough.
hand, left hand, right hand, mid-range, to the rack, pull up, 3-ball. What you want?
I'm talking about the league. The league, I'd be lucky.
Speaking of
yo, drink more water. You play basketball in shoes. You don't play basketball barefooted. You play basketball.
He's 6'9" in shoes.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jabari probably 6'9", but
yeah, man.
Legit, I ain't talking about flat footed. I'm talking about how big.
The arms he got make him 6'11".
Hey, chill. But remember,
he had that high release.
It was there was the Brandon. That was the Brandon. But you know what I'm talking about. Brandon. Boom, boom, boom. Not Brandon Knight, bro. Brandon, you know what I'm talking about.
Jennings.
Brandon Jennings. B. Jennings, Bari, but they had, you remember this too.
Brandon Jennings wasn't there at this point. He was already
but I'm saying they had like a run where they had Brandon, but then he got hurt. Jabari.
Brandon nenever played with Jabari. He was.
No, he's talking about the unluck. He's talking about the unluck of the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Bucks.
Don't forget.
Uncle saying Larry Sanders was like that, bro. But then
Ron, Larry Sanders started.
See what happens with Jay when you ask the pass. Larry Sanders couldn't get off that skunk. He couldn't do it.
I don't want to say what it was, but
I don't want to hear it, man. Robert Parrish played 1,600 games on that, man. Stop it, man. I don't want to hear that stuff, man.
You got Larry Sanders that was balling, and then imagine if Don would have really turned.
John Henson too. Hey, bro, they had
another KD 2.0.
Greg Monroe.
You see his high school highlights?
March. I was around during.
You mean from 1992? Yeah, I saw him.
You could say you can make those jokes about Thonmaker, but when Jordan,
but those were real.
But when
those were real.
When I say
lie about his age.
When I tell you that Africans be changing their birth certificates, you almost jump through the screen on me.
They do.
Yeah, because when you have
evidence, you know them dudes. Hold on. You know them dudes.
You're not going to throw all of Africa under the bus because Thonmaker decided to scam the league. Just like I'm not going to throw.
How do you scam the league?
I'm telling the truth.
But them players, they do be changing their age and their height.
This ain't no legitimately was older. Like there was a high school yearbook that emerged. So he was, because he never grew from 14 to 18. He never grew. He was 7 feet tall the entire way through.
That's because he wasn't 14.
I know that.
Can you imagine being 14 years old?
You're not going to tell me that we talking about Kaman Malawach like that because Kaman Malawach actually is his age, but he's actually his age. We've seen him grow. I know the guy who found him.
But
how about that?
I do. Found him where? Where he found him?
I think his parents found him when
in a refugee. Okay, so you're saying he found him in a refugee camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you know? How do you know?
Come on, man.
Kid, how old are you?
How old am I?
12.
Me?
You know what I'm saying? Mars, how old are you? Man, I'm 12. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a nice mustache, 12-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah.
But I know a lot of people that have grown to their original height at 14 and stopped growing. Like
absolutely. But Thonmaker's actual high school yearbook emerged as 4 years younger. That actually did happen.
Can you imagine 14 years old being 7 feet tall? That's got to be one of the most weirdest lives to live, man. It's got to be hard to live like that. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. You taller than most people you ever gonna meet in your life at 14. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
hey, Mars, this much bigger than everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else. I'll forget about it. That's just crazy, bro. That's a hard life to live, bro.
If you tell me,
2 high school mixtapes that I was sure that this kid is going to be an NBA superstar.
But see, the problem
one is Thonmaker.
Oh my god, because he looked like KG, right?
In the other, what?
He looked like KG, right? To you in high school?
No, he looked like KD.
Who you talking about?
Thonmaker, man.
When that Thonmaker highlight dropped, I said it is over.
He
this
dropped
is the
Bam
future.
In that highlight reel too.
It is the future of the NBA right here. I am 7 foot and I got this yank, bing, bing. I'm shooting threes. I'm dunking on everybody. I'm blocking shots to half court. Chill, he look like a creative player.
But what do you better than Bobo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The highlights will probably say so, but I wasn't particularly high. But
I'm just talking about the highlights. Yeah, I never watched the full game. I just seen the highlights.
What was his production? What did he do?
I don't know about the production, Jay. I'm just talking about.
That's why he didn't make it, because that's what they look at.
No, for sure.
I mean, he went 10th overall, so like, I mean, clearly the Bucks seen some, but
it was him, and then another highlight. And y'all keep in mind, this is during the Ball is Life mixtape era, so like we're not getting full games. You're only seeing highlights.
Who you gonna say?
Seventh Woods.
Oh, for sure.
I thought Seventh Woods was going to be the next Derrick Rose, Westbrook hybrid, and I thought that because when his highlights dropped, what he was doing his senior year was what he was doing his freshman year. His tape dropped and he was 14 years old, and dude windmilling, damn near jumping from the free throw line, dunking on people. I said, if this dude's doing this at 14, by the time he gets 21, it's a wrap. And
I fell for every single athletic point guard's mixtape. Fell for every single one.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of them hit, but I fell for
your point,
Ron.
This kid Thonmaker, I was refereeing at the time. This was in the summer of 2013.
Yeah.
2012. I'm sorry. Yeah, summer of 2012. Ron Garrison used to be an NBA referee. He had a camp. It was in Vegas. I went to it. That's the first time I saw this kid Thon Maker, and I was like, "Oh shit, this dude looked like he's something special." I thought he was gonna be something different than what he was too. I saw what you saw too. I did.
Mm-hmm. How old was he saying he was in 2013? It's a valid question. He got drafted in 16, so
hey, Ox,
so he must have been 15 apparently. Yeah.
They forgetting to go.
And he was 8 bit of 6'10". 8 bit of it, Mars.
Did he look 15 to you? Did he look 15?
No, he didn't. He looked like an adult.
Post Sebastian Telfair, the best small guard was Akil Carr. That was the dude that I thought.
But the Baltimore Crime Stopper.
Oh, you thought Mr. 5'5" had a chance?
Bro, he was cold. Remember, we had just come off. To be fair, you weren't around at this point. You were still obviously like, liquidated.
I was about to kill
in your food supply. But I'm saying that like we had just came off of Earl Boykin. So it wasn't like Akil Carr was completely out of the norm, like the possibility. Earl Boykin was 5'5" with none of that. And he was cold. But Akil Carr was like
some of that.
No, but I know he was boom.
He just didn't have it in the league, but
yeah. I mean, Eastern Michigan, he was cold, and then he had some in the league, but Akil was like
this big. That's little as hell, yo.
Yeah, bro. But you 5'5", 5'6". He should have won 6 man of the year too, but that was a whole different discussion. He got hold that year, but shout out to my dog.
All right, y'all. Be True 23 with the super chat said, I think Orlando and Memphis are in good spots. I am interested to see how Paolo and Franz continue to develop as primary decision makers to help make this team work.
That's what they're banking on. That growth there.
They got a good foundation. They good.
I mean, they've been looking for this player type for a while. They were rumored to be very interested in Emmanuel Quickley when he was still with the Knicks as a restricted free agent. So, they've been looking for this pass shoot combo guard guy. Yeah.
Whew. Heslo Mello Jello said, best high school highlight I've ever watched was Dennis Smith Jr. No debate.
Which year you think that
which
year you think he should have won 6 man of the year? Swiper.
Hold on. You gotta let me research that. I can't remember on top of
the year the year that Ben Gordon won it. No, he ain't winning it that year. Ben Gordon was the best player. You talking about
Earl Boykin when he didn't win 6 man of the year.
The year that Ben Gordon won it, I want to say in 05. The year that
Ben was a rookie? Because Ben Gordon won rookie of the year and 6 man of the year, right? Same year.
That year he was the best rotation player in the game.
That's fine.
I think so.
Oh wow.
In 05.
I hate Chicago then. They used to
I gotta go back to what year this was.
Shout out Ben Gordon too, because he used to
he was the best rotation player in the game.
They used to torch my Miami Heat all the time. I used to get so mad. Him and Heinrich.
He was second in rookie of the year.
Oh,
damn. And then
this is 06?
My fault.
05.
05? But that was Dwight.
March just live?
Was he clutch?
Yeah, I was wrong.
Was he the 6 man of the year in 05?
Exposures on the show and Mars. That's crazy.
Hold on,
Mars.
Almost did it. Wait a
minute. I gotta stop this. Just because somebody miscorrected them, like they didn't have the right year, doesn't mean they get cooked. Sometimes
I get cooked for that all the time. Because I'm the numbers person.
He didn't bring it in as an argument.
No.
I think he won rookie of the year.
It depends on who you are. If people don't have an agenda against you, like Mars, you can be wrong, whatever.
No, Swiper, you
if I get a number wrong, Ron gonna be the first one to say you and chill. You just be up here saying stuff.
Well, I'm gonna be consistent. Mars, you got cooked.
I wasn't cooking at all.
Let me see. 6 man of the year.
Swiper throw haymakers all the time. Over here.
Speedy Claxton. Y'all remember him?
Oh yeah, I remember Speedy Claxton.
Was he better a better rotation player than Earl Boykin was that year?
Well, this is like 2004.
I refuse to believe you guys remember who the best bench player was in 2000.
I don't. That's why I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I refuse to believe you guys just know that.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what I remember, Mars.
If you guys can tell me how good Speedy Claxton was in 06, and you got it, but I mean,
Speedy was all right. He wasn't,
my biggest memory of Speedy Claxton is the 03 finals.
You was in middle school then? You was in middle school then, Mars?
I wasn't alive. This is me going back and watching.
So we're trying to figure out.
Mars, how old are you, Mars? You're not in your mid-20s?
Man, that was Antoine Jameson year.
So we're talking about 2005 6 man of the year.
I got a rule.
No, we're not pointing at one year in particular, but we're looking.
If you didn't watch the Towers drop,
the guy who finished behind Ben Gordon that year.
Mars was not around in 2001.
Why all right, Mars. Tell me this, Mars. Damn, Mars, you look like you've been through a lot in life, Mars. You need to come to America.
I definitely didn't watch the Towers drop.
Oh my God. I could have sworn you was like 26, 27, 28. Oh my God.
I mean, that would have made me what? A baby when the Towers dropped? I still wasn't watched it. I would have just been.
No, I know, but I thought you was born late '90s, so that's why I said that. Because that's about late '90s. So.
Mars, you look a little, you look at it.
I go.
Mars, you do not look like you just could buy Hennessy yesterday. I'm sorry.
I got a lock in. That's the wake up call I needed. That's the wake up call I needed.
You do not look like that, Mars. You do not look like that.
95.
Mars gonna be putting cucumbers over his eyes.
Yeah, I got a lock in. That's insane.
No, I'm not.
Mars, you look like 96.
Saying you in your mid-20s is not old. Wait a minute.
97.
Wait, are you that young? Being in your mid-20s is considered old? Oh my God, yo, this.
He thinks I'm ancient. So
okay.
Mars,
you gonna see a new Mars. You're gonna see a new Mars.
Oh man, so me
he thinks I'm ancient. So
I ain't gonna
Mars think I'm cryptic.
Mars,
you're not gonna
call me Unc.
Hey Mars, I was born in 1981. What that makes me to you?
Yeah, see.
44.
I'm 44. I just turned 44 the other day.
Hey,
happy
shout out double
Jesus.
Gemini's in the
Mars 30 right around the corner, man. Better get on it, man.
Hey, to be fair, so Mars, Ox, Ron, and me are the youngest people on PC.
Somebody said old. Somebody said I'm old. That's right. Everybody call me Uncle A Johnny. Me and Chill.
And then from that point on, it gets old. It gets like 42, is crazy. 44, 51.
You older than my parents.
Get out of here. Oh, I'm spanking you every time we talk now, young man. You can't talk about me no more, young man. I got a lot of education to bring your way, sir. Oh my God.
I think
one thing though, I do respect your basketball fandom, Mars. You are a real basketball fan, so shout out to you, brother.
Is there anybody else up here that you respect?
I think we learned today that age and basketball IQ are not related.
That's true.
Another snipe. See, look at that. Another snipe from Penn. He
won.
This is a different strokes, man. Like I think you can interpret this as a compliment to Mars.
Another snipe that was
swiper. Penn doesn't feel comfortable. Penn doesn't feel comfortable during peacetime. If it ain't war, smoke.
Apparently, but he complains and moans and groans.
I was born during the
war. He'll say, "I don't respect your existence." He will literally, when it gets to wartime, all of a sudden, Penn want to put his hands up and say, "Me? Why me? Why me, sir? Put the gun down, Michael Jackson."
Penn really just like the CIA for real.
He was literally minding his business, talking about Mars and his parents, and here come Penn with a snipe, ankle snipe.
Which, by the way, Mars,
Penn out here moving like the CIA.
Penn really came through and snuck him too.
Which by the way, Mars, the average life expectancy, according to the CDC, for black men is 70 years old. So clock's ticking on me.
No, man, stop saying that. I'll be doing too much.
Clock's ticking.
I trust you to bring the average up a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say,
you already bringing it up, but I trust you to like.
Hey, chill, and chill, you know, as black men, we don't like going to the hospital. We like.
I'm a guest.
Even though I just went, I just went and got a checkup.
Bro, Chill comes to all our funerals.
Brain's good.
What?
Chill going. Well, Chill's not invited to mine.
Okay, but Penn, because you have an emotion. Because you have an emotional instability, Penn.
He'll be alive.
Your diet is terrible. You're always like full of negative, dark energy. You got to release that stuff. That's how you live longer. Tell him.
You got to meditate. You got to.
I'm a very positive person.
No, you're not. You literally took a snipe at a gentleman who was talking positive about somebody else. You take snipes at me when I'm talking about the great land we live in, how we should all be thankful to live in this wonderful country, and then we get snipes my way. Come on now. I get snipes all the time for no reason.
Is that what I'm understanding? Like, I don't need to be next to
No, Penn.
Great reason.
Penn. Have you seen The Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
Of course.
Here's
the fun thing.
It's that hat. It's that hat. You got to take that hat off. It's like how the ring had made old boy start feeling hateful, and then that locket that Ron was wearing in Harry Potter. It's like a Horcrux or whatever. How you say it? Horcrux.
Penn, hand over the hat.
Yeah, you got to
hand over the hat.
Take over your hat first. No, I'm good. No, man.
Take my hat off. Swiper takes his hat off.
Penn, do you think that
you're gonna feel so much better? You take that hat off.
Yeah, I do.
Mars, take that hood off.
No, actually,
let this be a lesson to everybody. Nothing good has come from paying a compliment to Mars. Never.
I want you to notice something, Chill. You're super positive. Ox is super positive. I'm super positive. We got We got real rays of sunlight coming into the room. I don't even got a light on. You know what that is? Aura. You know what that is, Penn? That's aura. It's not even a light. There's not even a light on. This is matter of fact. Hey, chill. The shades are drawn down. There's not even sun coming in here. This is
ain't no damn aura. That's your skin color.
That's that light bulb. Pin, that's that light bulb on his shoulder. Pin. He got a light bulb on his shoulder.
That's why. Hey, that's why Swiper gotta have his hat on.
Is the glaze?
Have his hat on. He look like a shining star.
It's all that Serbian glaze.
Speaking of glazing, Ron, real quick before we move any further.
Yeah, Gollum. Look at Gollum over here. Pin. Look at Pin.
Really quickly, Ron. Since we're on the subject of glaze,
Ron, this is glaze. Go ahead.
Since we're on the subject of glaze, Ron, who win the NBA championship? Who's going to win the NBA championship, bro? Who is going to win the NBA championship? Because we got a decisive game 5 tonight. Who is winning the NBA championship, Ron?
I have the Pacers winning the next 2 games.
Next 2, okay.
Ox, who is winning the NBA championship, Ox?
Ox, you said 5 when we was talking last week.
Probably OKC in 7.
Mars, who's winning the NBA championship, Mars?
Ron said that 5.
Probably Philadelphia.
Okay. Jay, who's winning the NBA championship, Jay?
I'm rooting for the Pacers for the Zesty Jeffrey reasons, but man,
Zesties.
OKC's too good, man. OKC's just I can see the NBA just crowning this team as great as they've been. I think, I got OKC winning it in 7, to be honest with you, but I really want the Pacers to win. So, but I think it's going to be OKC in 7.
What do the
Pacers who's winning the NBA championship?
Jeffries.
Because you want the answer? Or you just asking to be?
Hold up, right quick. Before we get into that, Penn, who's winning the championship?
Penn, who's winning the NBA championship? Penn.
OKC.
How many? Swiper, who's winning the NBA championship? Swiper.
I still think it's OKC.
I can see Pacers. I can see the Pacers.
I can see Pacers too. My heart wants the Pacers to win.
Yeah, I can see them winning.
I'm probably gonna go 60%.
I think this would be one of the best stories we've had.
What's
in the last
the separation between Oklahoma City and Indiana right now?
I don't know.
TJ McConnell.
Refereeing.
Oh, please.
Wait, are you with me, Swiper? Was that a Scott Foster game? Yes.
No.
It wasn't a Scott Foster game.
Hey, wait, hold on, Penn. Do you talk to yourself when you get off a PC? Like, do you just like Smeagol Gollum? Like, do you have those moments? Like, I need to be nicer. No, continue to fry for no reason. I need to talk to them better. Like, no, continue to take snipes at no reason. When they're talking positive, make sure you get in there and you make it about you. You get in there and you make it about you. You ever have those moments when you're in the mirror?
The Kermit the Frog moment?
No, but I have to say, projection is a hell of a drug.
No, Penn, we've already
hell of a drug, bro.
We've already diagnosed
projection is a hell of a drug, bro.
The last 20 minutes, that man Jay was talking to everybody in a positive tone, and here you come biting at his ankle like a little chihuahua. We already know that's you. I'm saying, do you know that's you? Do you recognize that you?
Speaking of tone.
No, change the subject.
I'm not changing the subject. No, I'm not changing the subject. But speaking of tone, Jay, can you explain what a Zesty Jeffrey is, please?
Okay, before I explain a Zesty Jeffrey, y'all gotta understand. I'm like Omar on the wire. If you come at me, you better be knowing who you coming for.
Penn learned today. Hold on, hold on, Jay. You had to, season 4 of The Wire. You had to pull out the tarp. You had to pull the tarp out and bring him in the old apartment room. You said, Penn, get him in, line him up in here. Get on your knees and hush.
Okay. I'm gonna answer Penn's question so that he can get the question, so we get out the way, then answer the Zesty Jeffrey thing. Okay. The reason I say I'm rooting for the Pacers is that there's a group of Zesty Jeffreys out here trying to attach Michael Jordan and Kobe to SGA's greatness. They didn't do it while SGA's been doing this the whole time, but because Anthony Edwards is gone, Joker's gone, Steph is gone, they have no one to hate on for LeBron, so they're gonna attach it to SGA. Not only that, they have this silly notion and they believe that a playmaker such as Halliburton cannot win you a championship, which we all know is false. So with that being said, I have that. That is my internal, just me being biased. That's just me being me, you know what I'm saying? But again, my basketball knowledge and my IQ tells me, man, OKC's the better team. They're going to play the ball. So now, Zesty Jeffries. Zesty Jeffries are a group of grown men who spend their time on social media looking to argue about basketball for the sake, 1, keeping Michael Jordan's legacy alive, 2, discrediting LeBron's legacy, and arguing stuff that have nothing to do with basketball while they sit here and switch up things. So as an example, they'll tell you one thing like 28%, means bad, but then when you expose them about it, well, I wasn't saying it wasn't bad. They talk out of both sides of their mouth for the sake of an argument. If we're all basketball fans up here, we will all respect each other's intellect and preference on how you feel about the game, and we will listen to it. But a Zesty Jeffrey don't like that. If it sounds like you're making Michael Jordan look bad, if you're running around here trying to make it seem like that, you got a problem. If you're trying to boost,
it's really amazing. It sounds like you're chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan too.
Zesty Jeffrey does for Jordan what you do for Bron?
No, because I don't take my time out running around looking to argue with Michael Jordan fans, Kobe fans, and Zesty Jeffries alike. That's why GOAT James Kingdom exists. It is a platform made for LeBron fans to have a safe space, avoiding Zesty Jeffries because we are allowed to talk.
What?
Those are all facts. Again, these are all facts. Y'all said
y'all need a safe space.
It is a safe space for LeBron fans because Zesty Jeffries is scared.
I thought you was an 80s baby. I was born in 81. You sound like one of these Gen Z kids. I need a safe space to talk about. I need a safe space.
Oh wait. It is a safe space because.
Well, let me tell you something. This ain't a safe space. This is a hostile minefield.
You can't do nothing.
I thought he was an 80s baby.
I've been dodging every last one of them, like Neo in the Matrix. Again.
Neo, huh?
Wait,
Jay, move your head to the side a little bit.
You could just compare yourself to Jesus Christ. I'm gonna just make sure about that. You the one. You the one. You know one.
Neo is not Jesus Christ. Okay, and I never said I was Jesus Christ. You worship a people that they call Jesus Christ. Stop it. So here we go.
You gonna respect Black Jesus?
Are the ones that tell you you're the clown. They're the ones who disrespect
you gonna respect Black Jesus. You gonna stop slandering Michael Jordan
because you say today's NBA is better than the 90s.
Nah,
NBA.
what you do is you like to label people who have a disagreement with
you.
You
label him.
No.
You did that first.
I'm pointing to you, Pitt. I called you the Zesty Jeffrey.
What did he call you earlier?
Zesty Jeffrey. I didn't call Ron a Zesty Jeffrey. I didn't call Swiper a Zesty Jeffrey. I didn't call Mars one. I called you. So address me when I'm talking to you. Don't bring other people in this because you're gonna need help. Like I told you, all the other Zesty Jeffries.
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
You know my name. You know who I am. You know where to find me, but you won't show up. That's facts.
I don't know why you trying to cut a promo like a WWE villain. Like I don't know.
I run a real channel. What do you have for your life besides a fake bookshelf? What do you have? Full of video games. What do you have?
I run a real channel.
Festival. I'm a real content creator. I have real followers. I have a real page. I have over 120,000 people who follow me on Facebook. What do you have, sir?
I have a bigger channel than you. I have a film festival that's in its 9th year.
120,000 people who follow you on Facebook. Do you have these?
I don't even have Facebook.
Exactly. All you have is an opportunity to show up on a Sunday and get exposed. That's it. That's all you have.
What the hell is that? Sorry, what are you doing here?
Again, you have a channel.
I'm doing the Zesty there. He said, you're Zesty. He said, this is what you do. These are the things you do for Scotty
I ask you again, if you truly have this large platform and you truly have this basketball IQ and you truly don't respect what I say, bring me on your channel. I guarantee you'll see what happens.
My followers would unsubscribe so fast if I tried to.
They should. After you get exposed, I will unfollow. That's what I've done to other channels. They unsubscribe to other channels that got exposed as well.
Nah, man, we try to have smart discussions over Pinstar basketball. We're not trying to have your little kissing contest and your little all this stuff.
We not trying to have that. Basketball after he encountered me.
I'm sorry. Pinstar basketball is not.
Hold on, wait.
Pinstar basketball ain't not a safe space, buddy. I've been telling people to fuck off left, right, and center. It is not a safe space. I'm sorry. You might be triggered. You might.
So you sent tickets to retirement? Because they keep trying to blame me. You sent tickets to retirement?
I sent tickets to retirement, ladies and gentlemen.
You can't stop talking basketball.
In fact, he's been paying attention to the Diddy trials for LeBron James's name to be mentioned. And guess whose name got mentioned in the trials? Kobe and Mike. So let's leave this alone about Ticket TV because it's Cricket TV. It's been crickets.
Keep Ticket's name out of your mouth, man. I don't even want to.
You made Ticket hang his mic up. That's crazy.
Jesus.
And Penn is next.
All right, y'all. Well, check this out, y'all. I know what is also next, other than Game 5, which will be there. So y'all better be there because it's going to be a hell of a game and a hell of a night. Remember, this game, for the most part, will have implications and indications on who will be winning this series and be the NBA Finals or the NBA champion. So we will see tonight on playback who's gonna be victorious. But in the meantime, y'all, we got super chat. So let's go ahead and dive into them. Russell Clark, how ironic, said, Penn, you're cooked, fam. Stop trying to sound smart.
Cool.
Okay, you don't think he got cooked today?
No. I think two very dumb people screamed into a mic very, very loudly and swore that they were cooking. Gollum? Come on, man.
Who are the two dumb people?
You and Zesty up here.
That's what they do.
I don't
They
actually
talk
think
about
you're dumb. I don't even think you're dumb, Swipe. I think you're smart.
A clown, you're a LeBron sexual, and you're a zesty Jeffrey.
I'm a what now? I'm a bronze sexual.
You are a zesty Jeffrey, and you about to be one of the zestiest of the zestiest. Only Pete Diddy right now is where you could try to reach up. Pete Diddy's the ultimate zesty Jeffrey. But you, this is fun. I have fun finding zesty. I told Chill, keep bringing them to me. I want a 20v1 versus all you zesty Jeffries.
Should you be out on a ledge somewhere?
No. Yeah, I'm on out of ledge. Tossing Michael Jordan's career off the ledge because that's where it belongs. Out of here. Real basketball. 2025.
Bro, honestly, I was upset at the beginning of this lab because I was just like, "Yo, what's this guy going on?" Now I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing.
Exactly.
This is cool.
Smart. You
smart. Yo, check it out. I'm running a poll right now, and I'm
Penn, who have you not created beef with on PC so far?
You want the list? It's a great list. Mars, real hoop knower. Mars, real hoop knower. John D, real hoop knower. Jordan, real hoop knower. Ron, sometimes hoop knower, sometimes L host.
I'll take it.
But yo, I never had any issues with any issues with a lot of people up here. This is basically you, occasionally Ox. Who else?
That's not fine.
This clown show up here. Who else?
Clown show. Like I said,
I definitely had some issues with Gifted. That's for sure has happened. But me and Hayes squash beef. We're good now. I mean, shit. I'm not trying to
low down.
I expose people. I don't
low for sure. But ZZ's cool. You know, I don't have any problem. I don't have any problem disagreeing.
Everybody else thought you low.
I get it now.
I thought you were beating the brakes off of Low. That's me personally, you know.
Peace and blessings to Low. Shut up.
I lost
and real basketball fans like Low.
Low is a very, very good debater. Low is a very good debater. I respect the shit out of that. But
yeah, he ducked the PCL, but
he's big time. Y'all too small for Low. Y'all know that.
Well, I'm running a poll right now. Ox, go to hell. I'm running a poll right now, and I'm asking, which one are you? A zesty Jeffrey or a bronzesexual? And 62% of the people are saying that they are, in fact, bronzesexuals. But make sure you get over to the poll and let me know
how bad it is to be a zesty Jeffrey. That lets you know how bad it is to be a zesty Jeffrey. That lets you know it.
All right, y'all. Worth Living sent through a super chat and said, you can be versatile and not be able to be portable. LeBron, how ironic, is very versatile, but I think KD is more portable and easier to play with.
Of course,
Worth Living knows ball, and apparently Worth Living also knows
make up
dictionary.
Fake names so that you can say you sound right. That shit is fake as hell.
Another snipe.
Fake ass name. Again, bring me on your show. Let's see how much IQ you have then, bro. You won't do it. You a coward. Shut up.
I would never bring you on Penn
I know you won't. So come on Friday night. How about that? I open up the panel for you. You can speak all the knowledge you want. Watch how you get exposed.
I do know one thing. If you pull up, I'm canceling all my Friday night plans because I'm gonna be there.
I'll pull up on a Sunday because Friday's with me. If you really want to talk basketball.
Wait, hold on, Penn. Are you saying you're not portable?
Yeah, he's not.
I'm not portable.
He's KCP. He's not portable.
No, I'm not that portable. No, I'm not that portable.
He's the zesty Jeffrey you don't put in rotation. That's for facts.
All right, but real quick though, Swiper. Before you try to put people on shows, why don't you respond to that DM?
I did.
He did. We're gonna contact. Why y'all doing this?
Why don't you get on the show?
I will contact Swiper, and Swiper and I will discuss this, and he'll let me know when he's available, if he is or not. That's fine, bro.
Ox, why don't you get on there? You a zesty Jeffrey?
I'm not involved in this.
I've been asking him since he be doing his little night court judge thing. I was like, "Come on, man, pop over to them. Come over here."
I'll tell you what. You get one person on this panel that I actually respect to get on your show. I will happily come on your show.
You just said, wait. You just said you respect me. So if I come on, then you'll be on. You literally just said that 3 minutes ago.
I was more or less talking about Mars, but yeah.
Chill has been on my show before. Low's been on my show before. I've had respectable people on my show. I know for one thing, you can show up and I'll respect you. I'll let you speak. I'll let you say all the zesty Jeffrey logic that you got sitting in that brain of yours, and I will expose every last one of them. And it will be on record, recorded, so no one can say anything, and you can come back on GOAT James Kingdom and watch it for your entertainment purposes, because Penn will be another exposed zesty Jeffrey on GOAT James James Kingdom. That's all we do. That's what I get paid to do. I'm monetized. I get paid to do this.
You got paid?
Yes, I get paid to do this. I actually get advertisements. I get memberships. I got all kind of stuff, brother. I do very well.
Wait, Penn, why are you coming at his pocketbook?
That's fine.
Everybody got their means of making money off their content on this platform.
They can't talk basketball, so they got to talk about me, which is why they always get exposed.
Penn, I think you should take up the offer because you have been talking a lot of jazz today, so I feel like you do need a one-on-one.
And start talking basketball, then you won't get exposed. Those are just the facts, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that simple. If you talk
Swiper got a Don King thing going on right now. I don't know if I like
don't be calling grown men zesty Jeffries and then be like, oh, I can't believe you're taking swipes at me. Bro, your last video made $2.12. Like, come on, man. Stop talking.
Swiper. You seem to be very intelligent. Bro. Set it up, Swiper. I'm really honest. I'm being honest with you. This would be pure content for anybody. Me versus 20 zesty Jeffries. Guarantee you're gonna love it on your content. It's not gonna.
You got main character energy. You got NPC brain. Come on, man. Stop it.
NPC brain. Oh, you're so smart for saying that.
Yo, Morris and Chill. Y'all can try to act like y'all not interested and entertained. Hey, this is good shit right here, boy. Hey,
yeah. Again,
hey,
all this is talking about me. He's talking about me. I was talking about his take. His Chris Bosh, Anthony Davis take, the 28% take, Kawhi Leonard, Shaq peak take. I talk about his takes. I ain't talking about him.
You know what's amazing? I don't know a single one of your takes.
Exactly. You shouldn't, because it'll hurt your heart. That mirror that you got to look at today to decide whether you're going to be nice or mean is going to say, damn, I'm an idiot today.
Hold on, wait, Jay. Let me see that shirt. Cooking Jeffries even with the attire. All right, y'all. Isaiah Ivana became a YouTube member. Shout out to Isaiah Ivana. Mad Max Sports Talk sent to a members chat and said the Wolves overpaid for Rudy, but they have had a pick in every year since the trade and been to 2 conference finals. GM got a GM. I agree.
GM certainly got to do his job.
The Wolves won all around. Shout out to them. 7 gram Swish sent through a members chat and said thoughts on what the Wolves should do about Nas and Nikhil.
Sign one, let go of the other.
Who should they sign?
Nas.
Wow.
Harder to find those.
He's gonna how much he's demanding? How much is he his command? 160, 190, same thing?
No.
There? No, less than that.
Probably 15, 20, 25, somewhere in that range. I don't know which one. It just depends on the
cap. About 100 mil for a year, 100 million, something around there.
That'd be good money. It's good money.
I think he'll ask for about 27 to 30.
Okay.
So what Julius Randle's making
now,
4
years, 120.
But isn't he off the books, right? Do they have to resign?
No, Julius has a player option, and so he's a player option, and they can extend him. He's making 30 in this player option.
Is Nas Reed worth more than Isaiah Hartenstein? Is he worth more than Nick Claxton? I think those are the questions you need to ask.
He's worth more than Nick Claxton.
Answer. Okay, so Nick Claxton was 25.
Matter of fact, Nas Reed is closer to Chris Bosh than Nick Claxton is to Chris Bosh.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because Nas is a better player. Noshing for $2 is nasty work, man.
All right, we got 2 new members. One by the name of DeAndre Wales and another by the name of Tay Dime. Shout out to Tay Dime. Shout out to DeAndre. Appreciate y'all for joining up. Bino sent through a members chat and said, someone get Penn out of the game. He getting smoked like a backwood. LOL.
So Penn, if we have a show rating and your VORP was the lowest on the show, were you a positive asset?
I'm always positive.
Even if you're in the negative on net rating?
Swiper, you are fucking mean, yo. You just are.
He started all this. This is all his stuff. I just want to know exactly
just so people are clear. I started all of this by saying that because Mars is young, that it's proven that age does not have a lot to do with basketball IQ. And the point of that is, of course, as a kid, I myself found it. I was always fighting to be taken seriously at 15, 16 with adults in my life saying, but I read this book. So I always support young people doing great stuff. I've had 16-year-old draft analysts who are doing amazing work on my show, and I pushed the shit out of it. Why do you think I support John D so much? Because he's young as hell and he's doing great work. I wish I'd started this when I was 20, 21. So, you took my support for a young content creator who's doing amazing work like Mars, and you took it as an insult to Go James Kingdom, which I found to be quite interesting and quite frankly, a reflection of just how negative you are, Mr. Gollum.
Got him.
Do you not remember what you
Got
said about
him.
Goat James Kingdom before that segment started?
Do I what?
Do you remember what you called Goat James Kingdom?
What I call him?
Do you remember it?
No, I don't. I said a lot of shit today.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying? That's the Zesty Jeffrey at his finest. They don't remember what they said 5 minutes ago.
All I know, y'all, is one of these Fridays over this summer, we gonna make this happen. I'm making that my number one mission this summer is to make this Friday happen. But in the meantime, my man Kundrell sent through a super chat and said, "Can everyone stop trying psychological diagnosis and talk ball?"
Yeah, that'd be great.
That started during your segment, Maji. That
started with Zesty Jeffries. They can't talk basketball. Points per game is not enough. Regular stats is not enough. Coaching strategies is not enough. No, we got to talk about portability, playoff translation, all this silly shit. This doesn't make no sense. Like I said, I've been talking basketball for 30 years. And they hit none of this stuff
as someone whose entire life mission has been to propagate LeBron.
Jay, did you ever think that you would have to take? Did you ever think that you would have to bring up defensive rating in a conversation?
What? Defensive Mars wasn't even born when defensive rating was created.
I never heard that shit. Now I got to talk defensive rating.
It came out in 2004. That's when it was invented. That's like I said, I was already buying Hennessy. I was already getting drunk. Matter of fact, I was 1 year away. I was engaged to be married when the defensive rating came out.
Yeah, I was getting busy in 2004.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me tell you,
defensive rating been a thing.
You know what? Like I should have introduced. You know, like I
was the year after homecoming.
I want to apologize.
I don't have first of all. I was asking, Pen, you've been talking a lot. Chill knows this. I don't discredit any stats. But if they're used incorrectly, I will call you out. There's a way to use defensive rating, and there's a way not to use it. A lot of people use analytics incorrectly. A lot, especially Zesty Jeffries, because they can't talk stats.
But you use them correctly?
I don't use them. I keep going. I go by points per game. To me, Orlando Magic had the best defense in basketball. They gave up the least amount of points for a 48-minute game. That's how I know it as. It's always been that way. Before some dude named Don Hollinger popped up and made us think defensive rating means something. Whatever his name is. I don't care. He's nobody. He doesn't mean nothing. He don't mean crap.
No.
I wish you could look in the mirror and just say the same thing to yourself.
I do this every day. You think I name myself the exposer for no reason? I've been doing this for a while,
sir. That wasn't necessary. Let's just put that out.
How many of them haven't been necessary, though?
That wasn't necessary.
He keeps talking about me. He keeps talking about me and not talking about basketball.
No, I really, you know what? I made a mistake because I brought up Desmond Bane, 28% in the playoffs, and I should have known that to talk to somebody who puts LeBron over Jordan the way that you do, has devoted his entire life to this agenda. I probably should have said playoff ratings and playoff performance should come with a trigger warning. It should come with a trigger warning.
Why? My guy has the most playoff points in NBA history. He leads in that with 10 statistical categories in playoff history. Excuse me, sir.
6-0.
Oh, don't do that. Okay, you know what, Ron?
You heard it again.
Chill, where you going?
I got it.
It's just starting to get good.
Swiper, you're a smart man. Mars is a smart man. Ox, she's a smart man.
God,
have you think in your mind, I have never heard somebody throw 6-0 at me? And this man really just threw it out here like he won something.
Oh, God, the 6-0 logic. I'm so sick of hearing that shit.
Bill
Russell was 8-0 at one point, right?
Never had to leave.
Well, Bill Russell is the GOAT.
Didn't play
right, exactly, Mars.
That's the
point. So why would we say that?
At least my GOAT can go left.
I do say that.
Let's leave that alone.
Michael Jordan can't go left.
And my GOAT had a left-hand hook shot.
My GOAT was left-handed, so I don't know. I win again.
Right, there you go, Mars. See, look, that's why Mars is smarter than Penn. That's why he appreciated Mars' IQ, because Mars knows how to talk.
For the record, LeBron James is actually left-handed, so let's put that out.
Yeah, let's keep it.
I've never really tried to debate that I was smarter than Mars. I think Mars is really smart.
You can't debate me, sir.
I think I'm really smart.
Nothing you just said.
How do you determine if somebody's smarter than you?
You can't even prove 6-0 makes Michael Jordan the GOAT. I guarantee it. You can't even prove that.
Go, Penn. 6-0 means he the GOAT. Why?
Show us how.
Didn't have to leave his team.
Okay.
Played an incredibly physical, game in which bigs dominated the league. Was really.
What's that 6-0? What's that have to do with 6-0?
We won because we won.
Both of these things apply to Bill Russell, by the way.
Played in the NBA when there were more than 24 teams.
Scotty is 6-0.
Oh, expansion era. Okay, somehow expansion era is a good thing.
And it applies to Scottie Pippen. But go ahead.
As you were saying, Penn.
I think the defensive impact was very steady. He was a playoff riser, showed up in the big moments, never had a game 7. So he never left it up to doubt. I think that's important.
You mean in the finals or just in general?
In the finals, he never let it get to a game 7, which is very
important. Who's the best
important.
team he beat in the finals?
It's a good question.
The 96 Sonics?
I think it was the Jazz in 98.
Easy.
Yeah, it probably is the Jazz. Then
I think it was the Jazz.
The team that scored 54 points.
I think
that team.
I think it was probably
what their second score averaged 12 points per game, and Scottie Pippen's discredit for averaging 16. Oh my god!
I think that Jazz team, that was a game 3. They scored 54. That's the most embarrassing game I've ever seen.
He had a finals in which his bigs, again in the era of bigs, averaged 3.9 points per game on like 30-40% shooting. Like Bill Cartwright was horrible. He couldn't catch. So when I look at his domination in that sense, when I look at the clutch gene. Right, I don't see a lot of blemishes in his. I don't see a lot of upstaging in the finals.
You know, LeBron has the best clutch record in the NBA in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's because it's not tracked for Bill Russell, but close enough.
That's true.
So I mean, I'm just saying, LeBron does.
I
agree with you, Mars. I agree with you, Mars. I agree.
Another thing, Zesty Jeffries too. Zesty Jeffries tell you. Zesty Jeffries tell you Bill Russell.
LeBron is twice as good.
Wait. Zesty Jeffries described Bill Russell's career as Michael Jordan's career. That's what they do.
It's a point that leans towards LeBron is what I'm saying. If you're bringing up clutch, so that's what I'm saying.
Well, I think clutch is also establishing a floor of just how bad are you in that moment. Like I'm not just looking at straight up like points per game in the final 2 minutes of a game. I'm looking at, do you show up consistently in those big moments?
Yep.
Do I have a lot
of finals, right?
In the finals,
not just in the playoffs.
Okay, wait.
Well, he took the worst team. And I also do think that the Eastern Conference was way more loaded when he was making those finals.
Well, he didn't beat any of those teams though. Like that's the point. Like he lost to the teams, the great teams.
Detroit. Yeah, go ahead.
If Michael Jordan had a Kobe Bryant, if Michael Jordan had a Kobe Bryant moment like he did in the 2007 playoffs, like he did against Phoenix, would that move you?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Do you consider what Kobe Bryant did, underperforming and all that other nonsense you said in the blemish? Do you consider that for Kobe Bryant the same?
I think it all counts, but I understand the context. Hold on.
He has those moments. He choked in big moments and all of those things.
I am not going to hold 2005, 2007 against Kobe. I'm not doing that shit because when Kobe was in a position where he had a co-star that was a legit top 10 player and he had a good coach and he had a good system and he had good role players around him, he was ace.
James didn't have a top 10 player from 2003 to 2010. He did not.
He was. I think LeBron James is a great floor raiser.
He did not have one top 10 players from 2003 to 2010.
Nor in 2015, from 2015 and on. So
sure, and there were no championships.
He won it.
2016. This started with 6-0. Scottie Pippen was on the team on all those teams.
Not some of them, Swiper. Most of them. Maybe let's one of them.
Scottie Pippen has more playoff series wins than Michael Jordan. Been to the playoffs more than Michael Jordan. So in reality, he's the best winner in Chicago Bulls history.
Because he didn't retire for 2 years, and because he went to the loaded Portland Trailblazers after. Yeah, I get it.
He has more wins as a Chicago Bulls and a more playoff wins as a Chicago Bulls.
Are you serious right now, man? They got out of the playoffs in 4 games in the Western Conference Championship. They got swept.
Say that again.
That's Scottie Pippen damn near averaged a triple-double in the finals.
Chill. I will remind you that Blazers team took your man Shaq to 7 games in the Western Conference Finals in 2000. In which Shaq
in NBA history at that point, up 15 with 7 minutes left. Not only did they take the Lakers to Game 7. Just so you clear, when Damian Lillard hit that shot, that was the first time they were out of the first round of the playoffs. Since then, they collapsed after that. It was a joke. That's what the Blazers were.
What's that? 14 years.
14 years, Mars. They didn't get out of the first round of the playoffs after that. A complete collapse. Meanwhile, the Lakers went on to win the NBA championship 5 times in the next 9 years.
I understand that. I'm just saying that series with Scottie Pippen, Steve Smith, that was a very loaded team. That was
a very loaded, very deep. And got swept, by the way.
What he's got to do is 6-0.
Exactly. He discrediting Scottie because Mike couldn't win without him.
Because Mike quit
without him.
All right, Chelsea. We'll get you, Phil.
Yes, sir.
I'm not really trying to discredit Scottie. I think Scottie's a great player.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
But I think most great players won with great players. Your guy, LeBron James, won one of his rings in a bubble with a player who arguably outperformed him. I don't think Michael Jordan has ever been outperformed in the finals.
That's false.
Has Michael Jordan ever not been the best player in the finals?
Who's the best player he played in the finals?
The best player is number 32. It's number 32.
Did Jordan play in
Magic.
Karl Malone.
Jordan even in the NBA his 17th season like LeBron was winning an NBA championship. No. So I told you I got nothing but ammo for people like you, and you can't duck and dodge this unless you don't show up. Just like right now. Again, you didn't explain why 6-0 makes Michael Jordan the GOAT. You're rambling, you're shuffling for nonsense, and GOAT James Kingdom has been exposed all this silly nonsense and zesty Jeffrey logic.
Listen, I value my time very much.
So bye.
Okay.
Bye.
I value my time very
much. Ron is keeping this going. Claire is keeping this going for a reason. They obviously see what's happening. You the only one who can't see it. You're like this. Yeah. You're like a horse with the blinders on. You don't see nothing.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you like SGA in the fourth quarter.
I value my time. Okay. So I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna let you know.
I say bye in Serbia.
Man, get out of here.
I'll look up.
See, look, you don't even want to tell me. See that? I thought I had no IQ. Help me get a little bit better IQ. I want to say bye in Serbia.
You're not going to increase your IQ by learning a random
word
in Serbian.
Yes.
Tell them choose.
I speak several languages, so I learned that learning to speak somebody's language helps you communicate better. Maybe we could communicate better if I could speak Serbian. How you say it?
It's like Italian, just spelled differently. CAO.
How you say it?
CAO.
How you say it?
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao, Pen.
Sounds kind of you coming from you kind of sounds zesty. Not gonna lie.
I know everything about me seems to arouse you in some sense. I don't know why.
So we went from Diddy to arouse to calling grown men zesty. I think.
Yeah. Again, I told you what a zesty Jeffrey mean, and you are proving my point left and right. You continue to argue with me. You keep proving my point.
All right, y'all. I got another members chat from Cato. Cato said, "I hope y'all know the Pacers not winning another game."
I think the Pacers can win 2 more games.
There you go.
This is the best finals we've seen in a long time. This is great.
This is the best finals I've seen in about 3 years.
Yo, Ox, you know you gave me you gave me the playbook in a couple episodes ago. You said you just keep let him talk and he just exposed, and you were talking about me. So I thought about that for a bit, and I was like, man, when a dude is on a roll and they're kind of cooking themselves a little bit, you gotta just let them cook themselves. So
sometimes Pen is just because sometimes you get so frustrated to where you kind of just say something and be like, damn.
Spiral. Because it's like in chess, it's called tilted. You get tilted. Same thing. So I think in a debate, someone pushes something, says something, you start arguing something, they play something, and you start going left. And then people be like, wow, this guy is really weird. I can't believe he's in his 40s acting this way. That's weird.
See, Pen, when you say getting tilted, that's not the same like for Ron. When Ron gets tilted, he gets tilted it's a different meaning.
When Ron gets tilted, it's wine coolers.
Tonight.
Oh
Rip.
man.
Tilted.
Had to fit the Remy.
Somebody gonna be Googling Johnny after this show.
Big Fan Breezy said, I like the parody of the NBA right now. It may be a different champion next season as well. Brooklyn Nets will be a top 4 team in 2026-27 season.
They're looking to trade Cam Johnson right now.
Good.
Both Cams might be gone.
Gonna be a lot of moves this offseason.
Goose sent through a super chat and said, does this dude have a bronze suit? He might be above JC.
Do you have a bronze suit?
A bronze suit?
Yeah.
No, but Pete Diddy role played as Michael Jordan several times.
What is this like consistent need to mention Diddy? Like I'm seeing it in the chat. Like, is something going on? Like, why is this?
I'm not gonna promote nobody else's channel, but I can tell you there's some rumors out here about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, and P. Diddy. That's why. And people like Ticket TV, Casino for Life, been running around here throwing LeBron James's name for Diddy trials, which he has nothing to do with none of that stuff, for the sake of not talking basketball.
Did you just throw Kobe into that?
I didn't throw Kobe's in it. He's in it. It's official. He's in it. Matter of fact, Kobe's been at a Diddy party before. You know that? I got pictures of this. A lot of
people been to Diddy parties, bro.
I know that. No, I know that, but they don't like that. They don't like the story of that.
We don't care, bro. We don't. It don't matter.
None of this is about basketball.
Yeah, let's keep going.
I know.
Getting the Diddy parties, bro.
Yeah.
But Russell wasn't.
Cal became a YouTube member. Shout out to Cal. Hunter also is a YouTube member, and he said peak Kawhi over peak Shaq versus Jokic's defense over AD is cinema.
Pete Kawhi over Shaq is a worst take.
Oh, come on, Mars. I really
hell
wanted you
no.
to come at me with that one,
It's a
Mars.
worst take.
I thought I had the worst take in PC ever, but I guess I don't.
Russell Clark said, "Exposure, exposure. What desperate move do the Heat need to make next season to stay relevant? I think a rebuild is our best option if we don't get Durant."
I don't want Durant. I've been saying this for a while. The Heat has been trying to replace Kyle Lowry. We really need a point guard. We need somebody who can set up our offense. We have some good guys that can do some things. We still got Bam. Hero's good. We got some good players. We really need a point guard. We need a ball facilitator of some sort, some way, somehow. I don't know where we're going to find it, how we're going to find it. We tried to get it in Scary Terry. He just became scary. So without that, we really not going to do anything well. I don't think we need to rebuild, and I don't think Pat Riley's trying to rebuild, but he does want a star. And I think if Kevin Durant's his last option, he might just make that move, which I'm going to be not too happy about. But Pat Riley, man, he's still trying to recover from LeBron leaving. Still.
All right, I got a $20 super chat. We got a late one that just wrote in from Arthur Vieira. I hope I'm saying your name right. Arthur Vieira said, "Had to come all the way from Brazil to say this loud. To say this loud Bron Glazer is unbelievably boring and insecure. And I love Bron. The Bron MJ debate does exist, and bringing Diddy and all that shit to win a PC point is lame as hell."
That's funny when Ticket TV's been a part of this channel forever. Forever.
Yeah,
Bill Russell clears. That's all I know.
Kareem clears too, but man,
I ain't gonna lie. I got Mike fifth on my list, but continue.
Where you got Kareem?
Third.
Where you got Bill Russell?
Who you got two?
Fourth.
Who you got two?
Wilt.
Next time you come up here, we got to hear the top 10.
For sure. I know you don't like that, Mars. I know you don't like that.
Nido became a YouTube member. I hope I said your name right too. Shout out to Nido. Day Day sent through a super chat and said, "Comparing errors and debating who is the GOAT is pointless. Different rules, different pace, and players. How can you accurately compare?"
Facts.
It's not meant to be accurate. It's meant to be subjective.
It could be objective, but people don't want to be objective. That's one thing I learned about basketball fans. Basketball fans feel that their personal feelings and take is necessary for them to give a take. So they don't ever want to throw their biases away. They always feel everybody has a right to their biases. Until there's a bias.
How could
everyone is biased and the list is
though?
subjective? It's impossible for the list to be objective.
Because again,
that's what I'm asking. How can the top 10 list really be objective?
Because there is a way to do it. You can grade players relative to their era and how good they played with their stats and accolades and achievements. That's what makes it.
That would still be subjective.
No, it doesn't. Because again, all these things are there for a reason. They don't have no pointless reasons for them. So if you are objective, you
what weighs more, an MVP or a championship?
That's why you don't do that. That's called being biased.
Yeah, but if you're basing it on accolades,
no, that's what I'm saying.
Based on accolades,
you based on accolades. So that means an MVP has its value. So does it all NBA.
How much value
does the value?
You don't place values in between separate. You don't make one better than the both. That's what being biased is right there.
But everything weighing the same is still subjective.
Everything being weighed
equal. An all-star, an appearance, and an MVP weigh the same.
No. Again, you're not gonna have 20 MVPs. Okay. Like LeBron has 20 all-stars. You're not gonna have the greatest players of all time have 10, 14, 15 all-stars, 10, 12 all MVP. You're not gonna have that. The maximum MVPs is 6.
Yeah, correct.
So you judge them on the amount of that they have and compared to the other people that are part of the league as well. So obviously you're going to value the 6 that Kareem have over the 5 Michael have. The 5 Michael have over the 4 LeBron has. That's how you value them. But
then what do you do about the 10 scoring titles MJ has compared to the 2 that Kareem has? Like
that's a perfect
does that make up for the MVPs? Or the MVP?
No, that's just a separate part of your achievements. That's just something else you accomplish.
Okay, so it's all like a checklist.
Which one equal more? Are they all equal or what?
Jordan has 13 seasonal titles. He has the 10 scoring titles and the 3 steals titles, right?
Okay.
Kareem has 7. He has 4, I think 4 block titles, 2 rebounding titles, or 2 scoring titles and 1 rebounding title. So overall, he has 7.
Technically, Kareem has more block titles,
Yeah, but it wasn't tracked until 74. Yeah.
So really, the way I see it, I think he has about 9.
Wait, but hold on. But what? Wait, real quick. I want to ask you because you're just saying these, but I want to know. So if somebody wins, like if if I have 5 scoring titles, and Mars has 4 scoring titles, but Mars has 5 block titles, and I have 4 block titles, which one weighs heavier?
The one who have the most seasonal awards.
It's 9-9, so it would just be a tie.
No, because he said he only had
5 scoring titles, 4 block titles versus 4 scoring titles, 5 block titles. So it'd be 9-9.
Yeah, it's tied. You're tied. You're just as equal.
So the blocks equal the points. They're equal.
Yeah, that's why you can't.
That's still subjective.
But that's objective.
It's subjective.
No,
because you've attributed them
rebounds and steals equal the same.
No, because now I'm again to be objective is to remove your personal preferences, to remove your personal biases. So by me attaching a value, that's me attaching.
You applying equal value is still applying value.
It is equal value because there's still great accomplishments. Leading the
I agree. I'm not disagreeing that they're of equal value. I'm not disagreeing with that statement. No, I fundamentally don't agree. I wouldn't do it that way, but I'm not disagreeing that you're saying they're of equal value. What I'm saying is you saying they're of equal value is still subjective. That's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you,
because Ox very easily disagree.
No.
Ox is a zesty, so it doesn't matter.
No. To make it objective is that's how you make it equal. That's the whole point. That's because now it's not my personal bias. It's nothing about this other than the simple fact is these are all
not equal. Rebound. If I lead the league in rebounds and you lead the league in block shots, that's not equal. If I lead the league in points, you lead the league in steals, that's not equal.
They're equal accomplishments.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Which one's higher?
Let's wrap this shit up.
But hold on. No,
okay, so Ox is proving my point. Because I told Ox to remove his feelings, remove his biases, remove his personal
feelings. That's basketball, bro. That's basketball. That's not feelings.
You can't say points is more than rebounds, brother. That's your personal preference.
I can say that leading the I can stand here and say yes, that it is better to lead the league. It's more valuable to lead the league in scoring than it is to lead the league in steals. Yes,
okay, I can say because we all are able to be subjective here.
But you're wrong.
Bill Russell's 22 rebounds are just as impactful and mean just as much as Jordan 30 points per game. That's how.
Wait. If you now look. So check it out.
Hold
on, Mars.
Who's right or wrong? Not who's objective.
Okay, so let me tell you. It's easy to go back and find a time where somebody's rebounding was equal to somebody's scoring. You could do that. It's easy for me to find a time when somebody's defense was as impactful as somebody's offense. But that doesn't mean that every year leading the league in steals is equal to leading the league in scoring, because it's not. It's not.
It's the same thing, sir. It's both in the
and if that's what I'm saying, like, bro, that's how I know. That's how I know.
It's all an accomplishment. The same way Mars doesn't believe
it's not all accomplishments are not created equal.
The same way Mars, just because you won the MVP doesn't mean you're the best player in the world. It's the same thing.
All accomplishments are not created equal.
Just because you average 30 points per game and you don't win the scoring title, you're better than somebody that averaged 15 rebounds per game. That's nonsense.
Is Rookie of the Year and MVP the same thing?
No, it's not.
But would they both just count as an accolade?
That's the thing I have a problem with.
They're equal.
But the reason I value Rookie of the Year because you only can win it once. It only happens to one player. You only can win it once in your career. You can win multiple MVPs. You can't win multiple Rookie of the Years. So coming in and being the best player in the league in your first year should have a significant factor in the GOAT conversation or in your greatness factor. But again, it's not as I wouldn't say it's equal value to an MVP, but it's an accomplishment. I like to say Magic Johnson has a Rookie of the Year. Kobe don't. You see what I'm saying? Like
did Michael Carter Williams a Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, he did.
No.
Paul Gasol has Rookie of the Year. Mike Miller has a Rookie of the Year.
Right on.
So I get it, but it's still a great accomplishment. It's not. I'm not just because Mike Miller's.
I'm saying this because anytime I ask you this, you start saying I'm being emotional. I'm trying to figure out.
No, I'm saying you're not mad.
Wait, hold on, bro. Just hold on, because I don't even care about the emotional shit. That don't matter. What I'm saying is there has to be some type of scale, or is it just like does the scale vary based on player? Or how do we do this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, does the scale vary based on position? Because I'm a big, let's say if I'm a big man, that average a bunch of rebounds? Is that equal to a guard averaging a bunch of assists? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like now you're looking at basketball like it's just a graph, a chart. It's not like that. There's more to it.
Again, you are allowed to grade anything differently and weigh things separately. But just know when you're doing that, that is your personal preference, your personal bias, how you feel, which is fine. You're allowed to have that, especially if you're able to articulate why, which is fine. Ox, you speak very well. You articulate your stance very well. I'm not going to argue with you about that. That's not the argument. My thing was, again, can you be objective? Yes. And how you be objective is by removing those biases, removing your personal preferences. So as an example, I'm not going to compare scoring to rebound. I'm going to compare rebounding to rebounding. I'm going to compare scoring to scoring. I'm going to keep it there because there is no correlation to do that unless I begin to be subjective. So again, if you have 5 rebounding titles and you have 5 scoring titles, to me, it's an equal thing to remove my biases. And this is a perfect example. Chilltown has that, not Chilltown, Sportsfluent has that famous thing where he goes, it means nothing. It means nothing. 4,000 playoff points means a lot. Just because Tony Parker has it, it doesn't diminish it. And that's what people do. If you have 4,000 playoff points, you are one of the best playoff scorers in NBA history. I think only 12 people have done it when we add Stephen Curry this year. So obviously it's a great achievement, but to knock it because Tony Parker's in it and Dwayne Wade's not in it, Dirk Nowitzki's not in it, that's where your subjective and your biases come in at. In reality, 4,000 points in the playoffs is a great accomplishment and should be seen as such. Would you use
that argument of Tony Parker over Dirk Nowitzki?
No, listen, not again. If we're talking about the greatest scorers of all time, I'm going to go off of regular seasons. I don't use people's playoffs to determine how great of a player that they are. It's a separate factor as well. Your regular season tells you how great of a scorer you is. Dirk Nowitzki has over 30,000 points.
Why did the regular season do that? And not the playoffs.
Because it's a larger sample size, and it's a variety of strategies, variety of teams, lineup situations. It really gives you the best barometer of how good a player is. I would rather take Jordan's 1,072 games to determine how great of a player he is than the 179 or the.
But why not just do both? Why not just combine?
No, I know I can do both, but I separate them. I grade playoffs with playoff numbers. I grade regular season with regular season numbers.
That's kind of subjective.
If you told me no, it's not. If you told me I treat them. No, I treat them the same. I value them the same. The playoffs are valued. Again, it's just the same thing as us. I keep playoffs with the playoffs. I don't combine playoffs and regular seasons when I'm trying to explain to you. So, like, as an example, when we did our GOAT James Kingdom formula, we included the playoffs and the regular season, but you had a different.
Oh, what? So you got a formula. Let's get to the formula. That's what I've been asking for.
I would actually like to hear
20, 30 minutes ago. Yes, I'm curious about this formula.
All right, let me give you the formula.
The formula that got Bill Russell at 4.
Yes.
Hey, hold on. While he's digging up the formula, I'm going to read a couple super chats.
Okay, go ahead.
Trayvon Ray said, talking about NBA draft picks we fell for, I really thought Tony Mitchell and Scal Labissiere were going to be the truth.
I was very high on Scal.
If you could share that graph that I have on the screen, it would be easier to explain it that way.
Oh, there's a graph? Okay, this is going to be interesting.
See, this is a real basketball channel and a real content creator and a real ball knower because, well, he does stuff like this.
Oh, what's this?
Okay, so on our past Sunday show, we did our top 50 greatest finals MVP performances of all time. And we used our GOAT James Kingdom formula, which is basically grading players to the greatest accomplishments of all time. So to do that for the finals MVP, what we did was we took the player that had the highest points per game in the NBA Finals Series, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Those are the actual stats. Jordan's 41 points per game is the highest anybody ever scored in that situation. So in each category, you see there's 10 points next to it. If you scored 41 points in the NBA Finals like Michael Jordan did in 1993, you scored 10 points just for that. And it goes down the line. Now, let's just say you scored 30 points. 30 points of 41 is like 7.5. So you would score 7.5 points in that.
So that's like 75%. Is that what it is?
Exactly. We grade you by the percentage of the greatest accomplishments of all time. So if you were this player, if this player actually exists, you would get 100, a 10 out of 10.
Well, they get 50.
No, because they got 50 points, but we
100%.
Yeah, but we divided by the categories. So if there's 5 categories and you had 50 points, then it's
okay. I got you.
So that it basically gives you a score. more than anything. So
and these real quick,
Okay,
Johnny.
so
these are this is one series. Somebody averaged 19 rebounds. One final series, right?
Yes.
So
just for the
so what does this do for the final series before 1974 when steals and blocks weren't tracked?
That's why we stopped at 74, 50 years, because we couldn't keep a track of blocks and steals. So we actually had
Hey, Morris, keep the blocks. Kareem still a 9 out of 10.
It seems like the cutoff would be quite subjective. But...
No. Again, now, mind you, when we did our GOAT James Kingdom formula to supplement that problem, great question, Mars. For the players that didn't have blocks or steals, we just don't count them. So, as an example,
so they just have 3 categories.
Yeah, exactly. See, you're so smart. That's why. That's why I like Mars. See that?
And then you use this to rank them after.
No. I'm giving you an example of how it works. So, if we were doing this on an all-time scale, you would do this for all-time per game average for your regular season, all-time playoff per game average for the for the postseason. You would do the same thing for the totals, but then you would also add like analytics. We added analytics to this, and you also add accolades. So as an example, we were talking about the MVPs. Everybody's MVPs was graded to Kareem 6.
Do you have a chart? Do you have a graphic for that?
So that's how you've done your top 10.
That's how. No, well, my top 10 has my subjectivity. This is us being objective in GOAT James. This is us trying to remove our biases.
Well, this graphic alone, without all the other stuff, is purely El basketball. That's all this is.
What?
This is just
hold on, wait. No,
it's not.
That's all this is.
Can you tell us who came number 1 on this list?
That's all I'm looking at right here. If you add the other things to this, I can get with you. But this graphic here alone is basketball.
It's available. Give it to him. The top 10. The top 10.
Yeah, Ron. Let's see that. Yeah, this is quite interesting. 03 Duncan. I respect that.
Who's the GOAT? That's Steph Curry in 2016.
No, that's Braun. I'm trying to see how comparable it was to the list of Finals MVPs we had, where ours was just purely subjective. Bill Walton, nice. 2 Shaqs, nice. Giannis, we had no KD. That we had KD on ours.
Told y'all KD shouldn't have been on there. No Jokic. Damn.
No Jokic. Overall, I don't think it's like way off what we had. It just you add Bill Walton and Bird instead of Jokic and KD.
Is Magic on there? 87 Magic?
Yeah, we had Magic on ours.
87 Magic's there too. Now, mind you, remember, you see the score on the side. The 6.30 is what Duncan scored when we compared his points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game to that hypothetical greatest finals performance of all time. So he was basically 63% of that greatness.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I mean, but if don't can't. I mean, you base this off of.
I have the whole top 50 if you guys want it, but again, I'm not trying to.
But you do. Where's the fact that these dudes are playing different positions? You can't just throw just the stats at it, like. You know what I mean?
That's a great question. That's a great question because like we wanted again, you can add anything you want to add to our criteria, which what makes our criteria the best. So as an example, if you wanted to grade like their field goal percentages, right? And we know the field goal percentage could be subjective because big men are different than perimeter guys. But you can find the best field goal percentage shooter for a big man and then compare all big men to that and then find the best field goal percentage for perimeter players and compare the perimeter players to that guy. So as an example, that's what we did for the 60s in our to adjust the inflation of the high pace for like guys like Jerry West and Oscar Robertson was averaging 6-7 rebounds per game. We adjusted it to where we actually compared them to Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. Anybody after 1976 was compared to Moses Malone, because of the pace and how the different rules and sets. So we made sure that we kind of did our best to not give any error in an advantage, any position in an advantage, any anything, any play style in an advantage. It basically judged you off your raw data, what you produced, and how great you were to the greatest accomplishments in the same category. That's just the whole point. You know what I mean? That's just how we want. We can be subjective. We can all be subjective, but then we'll just have a bunch of arguments. And then you'll start calling somebody zesty or LeBron sexual because you don't like what they say. You see what I'm saying? Instead of just being real with yourself and say, okay, this means something. Don't sit here and don't try to make 6-0 sound like it's better than winning 11 championships. That's nonsense. 11 championships is better than 6-0. So you value championships, you should value 11 championships. That's facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the whole point. If you value scoring, right? They'll always tell you they value scoring, but they don't never put Jerry West as the top scorers all time. Jerry West is both in the playoffs and regular season points per game up there. They never tell you Jerry West is top 5 scorer, top 10 scorer. They'll put Kobe over guys who don't average, that Kobe don't have a better average, and they'll tell you averages tell you who's the better scorer. So again, they don't. It's all about their feelings. That's why they get mad at me, because I let you get in your feelings just to expose you.
Shout out to Jerry West. I agree with the Jerry West love too.
Yeah, no, we appreciate all basketball players here in Goat James Kingdom. We don't. And again, I know we get the bad rep, and this is why we are who we are, because we're LeBron guys. We're not allowed to be basketball fans. We're not allowed to have our subjective takes. Every time somebody asks us to something, we have to prove it with stats. But if you ask this guy to prove 6-0, he's going to bring up clutch gene. How can he prove Jordan has the best clutch gene? Come on, man.
All right, so
I'm sorry, my bad.
We got a couple more super chats before we get up out of here. Nadale. I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm gonna go with Nadale. Nadale said, I don't understand why Scotty would be ranked above Kawhi. Defense, comparable. Playmaking, Scotty. Scoring, definitely Kawhi. And I trust Kawhi more as a number 1 option. Scotty just flourishes as a number 2.
I think Kawhi's better than Scottie Pippen was.
It was crazy though, but they doing that off of 2019 when he was load managing.
He was load managing.
That's not the reason he could do that. He was load managing. That's the only reason he was as good as he was in those playoffs. He was load managing.
He still got hurt in those playoffs.
Scotty never load managed.
Artur Vieira became a YouTube member. Shout out to Artur. Blake Kimball also became a YouTube member. Salute to them and salute to everybody else that joined up today. We got a couple more super chats, and they both are from Bandit SPS. Bandit said, swiping Ron looking like Kobe and Shaq with the instigating. Dub host and Dub base Serbian. Shout out to Bandit. Shout out to Swiper. Bandit SBS also said Mars and Ox looking like MJ and Scotty now. Dub Lil Ox and Dub Marza Pippen.
Interesting.
Shout out Marza Pippen.
Why you put Marza? See what I'm saying? Why? That's just...
Shout out to Marza Pippen. All right, y'all. It has been real. Johnny, appreciate you for coming through. We will be on playback tonight for Game 5. Y'all be sure to pull up. Go follow Goat James Kingdom. Go follow the Hoop Talk Podcast. Go follow Mars Talk Sports. Subscribe to Player's Choice, and we'll catch y'all later tonight.
Merry Christmas.
Peace and blessings, fellas.
Shout out Marza.